2014 Kettleers baseball hits the air in 3, 2, 1.
Wiseman hits that out into deep right field. Pickens goes back on it. He's at the wall. Gone! A 3-run bomb by Rhett Wiseman. And this game is tied at 7. 2-1. Stubbs is going to send that one into right field. And the Kettleers will live to see another day. Game 3 is tomorrow.
2014 Kettleers ball plays here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Now with the Kettleers warm-up, here's Greg Mraz.
The red-hot Whitey Red Sox are in town to face off against the Kettleers in the third game of the season between these two ball clubs. Good afternoon, everybody. Alongside my broadcast partner, Brendan Glasheen, I'm Greg Mraz. Kettleers got their most complete performance probably of the whole season last night against the Wareham Gatemen. Trey Wingenter went 6 innings of 1-run ball, 2 runs total. Only one of those runs were earned. Kettleers bullpen comes in. Jackson McClellan, Jeff Kinley, and Adam Witt shut the door against Wareham. But the Kettleers, the epitome of resiliency, down 2-0 heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. Trace Barrera leads off with a solo shot. That made it 2-1. Then in the bottom of the 8th, solo shot from John Norwood, and then the rally keeps going, and Brendan Hendricks, off of Jason Richmond, a sidearm left-handed pitcher, launches one out to deep right field, and a 4-run bottom of the 8th, and all runs scored off of home runs gives the Kettleers a 5-2 victory.
You know, Mike Roberts said in his 11 years here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, the home run by Brendan Hendricks to give Kettleers the lead in the eventual win was one of the hardest hit balls he's ever seen. You'll hear more from Coach Roberts about the win yesterday and the start today for Nick Eichholz on the Roberts Report, but I'd have to agree. Yesterday was one of those wins that you mark down as one of the ones that you remember. And Trey Wingenter is absolutely the guy you turn to when you look at how this team was able to complete that game yesterday. That 6-inning performance, not only did he just go 6 innings, the longest a Kettleers starter has gone all year, it's the way he did it, his confidence, his ability to throw first pitch strikes, taking advantage of his defense when they were capitalizing, even though the Kettleers defense had 3 errors, a couple of double plays, some 1-2-3 innings. Everything worked for Wingenter, and then it's nice when Jackson McClellan can come in and give you a solid 2 innings, or inning and a third rather, out of the pen. That's what Coach Roberts is looking for now. He hopes that the starting rotation can pick it up like Wingenter did, find those middle guys, and then Jeff Kinley, Adam Witt, whatever order you want to go in, those guys can shut the door. That's one part of this team that we know has remained consistent.
Nick Eichholz gets the start today for the Kettleers, and Eichholz has made 2 starts, and one of them he only went 2 innings against Wareham in a 7-6 loss. But Eichholz in his last start against the Falmouth Commodores back at Arnie Allen Diamond on July 3rd, 2 innings pitched, on July 7th, misread the scorebook, 2 innings, 3 runs, all earned, 7 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. He only faced 16 hitters. Trey Wingenter was the stopper yesterday for the Kettleers. The first pitcher all year that has pitched 6 complete innings. Nick Eichholz needs to do a lot of the same.
Yeah, Eichholz, his last couple of outings, he's gone just 2 innings, 3 games pitched and 1 start. For Eichholz, he was the one that after Wingenter's start on Sunday against Harwich, he started the trend of 4 straight games in which a Kettleer pitcher did not get out of the 4th inning. Today, Nick Eichholz has to just go out there and show some confidence. That's what keyed Trey Wingenter's performance. Now, Trey is a lot more easygoing than a lot of the other guys, but again, Mike Roberts has a very strict system, and sometimes it takes a bit for players to get used to. Nick Eichholz is a very timid guy. He's a easygoing guy, but timid, and it takes him a bit to get used to things. But that's what Coach Roberts told me today on the Roberts Report, that he just needs to settle down, throw some first pitch strikes, and let his defense help him out a bit.
Today's starter for the Whitey Red Sox is Michael Murray, and Murray has, in a sense, been snake bit. He's 0-4 with an ERA of 4.15, but Both YD starting pitchers that have faced against the Kettleers this year, Michael Murray and Justin Hawkame, have pitched a combined 10 and 2/3 innings and have not given up an earned run. The Kettleers, in 18 innings against the YD Red Sox this season, have only scored 3 runs total. That is going to have to change.
No question. I mean, the YD Red Sox thus far have had the Kettleers number very similar to what Wareham was doing prior to yesterday's game. But you take a look at what this YD team has been able to do in the last 10 or so ball games, 8-2 in that span. They're making a run just like they did a bit last year. They could be this year's Orleans, or last year's Orleans, rather, when the Firebirds were sinking in the Eastern Division, caught fire in the month of July, and really surprised people. This year, the Firebirds started a little slow in the first 5 or 6 games. They're not disappointing, a 16-11 clip. The Red Sox are now a game over 500. They look like the team in the East that was going to fall to last. The Brewster Whitecaps are back in the basement as they were last year. So this YD team has made it clear with a month to go in the season that they're for real, they can pitch, and they can get some timely hitting. They did that, and they've done that against the Kettleers.
The YD Red Sox are 8-2 in their last 10 ball games. And Coach Mike Roberts caught up with our own Brendan Glasheen on the Roberts Report to see what the Kettleers need to do today to keep this now 1-game winning streak alive and make it 2. It's time for the Roberts Report on the Kettleers warm-up. Standing by with Mike Roberts, here's Brendan Glasheen.
Now joined by head coach Mike Roberts, the Kettleers picked up a big win yesterday, 5-2 against the Wareham Gatemen, the first of the season against Wareham. Coach, you had some clutch hitting, of course, to get you through those last few innings, but Trey Wingent to really set the tone, went the first 6 innings for you guys, the longest outing from a Kettleer pitcher this year.
Yeah, I was just meeting with the pitchers in the bullpen, and I addressed that subject in the fact that Trey not only had a 6-inning outing, but the way he approached it, it was very professional. He got the ball. He got on the mound. He threw. He didn't wait around. Did a wonderful job of throwing strikes. He also did a nice job of fielding a couple of swinging bunts and a bunt that really made a difference by him throwing him out at first base. So he had a good outing, gave us a chance to get to our bullpen.
Can you touch on the clutch hitting? Of course, 3 home runs by Barrera, Norwood, and then Brendan Hendricks hit a big 3-run bomb. Just speak about your offense and how really it has a lot of resiliency and doesn't give up when the going might get tough.
Well, over the last couple of weeks, it's probably been the one highlight of our club has been some consistent offense. They've done a really good job. The other night we lost at Falmouth, but we really had an excellent 9th inning. And so we feel like if we can get our pitching going a little bit, also play a little better defense, then, we'll have a chance to win a few more ball games because we do think our bats can kind of keep us in most games. But again, as we all know in this sport, it starts with pitching and defense, and then and hopefully, you get some big hits, which we got yesterday.
You mentioned that you talked to the rest of the staff about Trey's start, and now today you have Nick Eichholz going for you. What type of message were you sending to the guys, and hopefully what do you want to see based on what Trey did yesterday that Nick can maybe bring to the game today?
Well, Nick's a year younger, and he actually has as many innings under his belt in 1 year as Trey did in 2. So experience-wise, he's probably about at the same stage. I think the biggest thing Nick's got to do is he's got to show confidence on the mound like Trey did. I mean, that he gets up there, and you can see that kind of confidence exuding in Trey as he's been going out each time. And I think Nick kind of needs to show that kind of confidence to the opposing club so that we can also see it as well.
And last thing, the back end of your bullpen has been solid since the start of the season. Jeff Kinley and Adam Witt able to close the deal in yesterday's game. That's another thing that goes unnoticed based on the clutch hitting. But what do you have to say about Kinley and Witt in the back of the pen? They really came in and shut the door.
Well, we knew after the first week that was probably the strength of our pitching staff. Where I've done a poor job is I've gone to Adam earlier than I would have liked to at times to try to bridge too long a gap. And if I can keep it to an inning to 2 innings with him, then you can use him 3 or 4 days in a row as kind of an almost submariner. And Kinley's a little bit of the same way. So what we're trying to do is now knowing that those two young men do a really good job for us at the closing out a ball game, the 8th and 9th inning. What we're trying to strengthen now is that 5, 6, 7 area. And I thought yesterday Jackson McClellan did a nice job in there.
Okay, well, Coach, good luck today against YD.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right.
Mike Roberts joins us for the Roberts Report every Kettleers game. Kettleers take on the YD Red Sox for the 3rd time this year, coming up at 5 p.m.
And there you have it, a very confident Coach Mike Roberts in his pitching staff. And one guy that he has to be very confident in is Brendan Hendricks, the University of San Francisco corner infielder and outfielder who gave the Kettleers the victory yesterday with a 3-run blast in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Brendan Hendricks was today's hot off the kettle. He caught up with me before tonight's ball game.
See which Kettleer is heating up on today's edition of Hot Off the Kettle with Greg Moraz.
Today's hot off the kettle is Brendan Hendricks, Kettleer first baseman, third baseman. Brendan, you were the hero yesterday. A 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning that gives your team a 5-2 lead. You were even telling me after the ball game that you didn't even know it was possible for a left-handed hitter such as yourself to hit a ball that hard off of a left-handed sidearm pitcher. Take me through that pitch.
I was just going up there, I had an opportunity with guys in scoring position and a chance to win the game, so I was lucky to be in that situation. I just wanted to go up there, try to get a pitch to hit. It was definitely a different arm angle to see, so it was exciting though. I mean, it was a good opportunity for me, and luckily enough, I put a good swing on it.
How much patience do you think you need to have in order to wait back on a pitch such as that one, because that was a sweeper and you had to stay back on that as long as you could before you could get it in the wheelhouse?
Yeah, I think that's huge. Just the vision too, being able to see the pitch come in like that. So it was definitely different. It was a lot of fun though. That's my first time facing a lefty submariner, so it was a good experience.
You've been playing third pretty much exclusively the past week. Is that a new position for you relative to what you've played in college? And if so, what's the adjustment been like over there?
I've played in the past in other summer leagues and stuff like that, but it's very similar to first base. Just got a little bit of a throw. Coach has me playing up, field the ball, throw it over, and just make it that easy.
Now, coming into today's ball game against Yarmouth Dennis, you're facing a right-hander in Michael Murray who really shut you guys down the last time. You only gave up 1 run. It wasn't even earned. So, based on the scouting report against him, what are you guys looking to do today?
I think we're going to have the same approach we have every day. We've been swinging it well. Everybody's going up there putting good at-bats and putting good swings on good pitches. So we're going to go up there, stay aggressive, and hopefully we can put a few runs on the board for the pitchers.
How complete of a performance was that from the entire ball club yesterday? Do you think it was the most complete performance that you guys have had as a whole team this year?
Yeah, I think it was great. Trey did a great job. He got out there. His pace was unbelievable. He got on the mound. He threw strikes. He gave us a chance to win. And when the pitching does that and the hitting is able to squeak out a few runs, it gives us a good chance to win a ball game.
That's Brendan Hendricks, today's hot off the kettle. We'll be back with more of the Kettleers warm-up after this. And Brendan Hendricks, always a guy who was about the team, always about getting better and making sure that he does his part in order to win ball games. The YD Red Sox come in on a tear. They're 8-2 in their last 10 ball games. They've climbed from the cellar, which is where they were when the Kettleers last faced them out at Red Wilson Field about a month ago, until now. They're 14-13, third place in the Eastern Division, and just behind Orleans for second place. I caught up with Steve Goldberg, play-by-play broadcaster for the YD Red Sox, in this edition of Broadcaster's Corner.
Welcome into Broadcaster's Corner, where we see what's going on with the opposing team from the guys who know them best. Standing by with the Yarmouth Dennis broadcast team, here's Greg Moraz.
My guest on Broadcaster's Corner is Steve Goldberg, play-by-play broadcaster for the YD Red Sox. And Steve, earlier on in the season when you and I talked last, this team couldn't hit, but they could pitch fairly well. Now they're starting to swing the bats. YD, over the past 2 weeks, has probably been the hottest team in the Eastern Division. What has sparked this turnaround?
Well, it's been absolutely night and day since the last time YD and Katuitt last met up. And really the offense has gotten going. Hunter Cole, Jordan Tarsevich, Rob Fonseca, they're all hitting very well. Andrew Stevenson, a guy to watch as well. He got his average up to around 300. Josh Lester topped the 300 mark at one point. Just guys from all over the order really coming together and piecing together some hits.
Hunter Cole was a 2013 Katuitt Kettleer, and the one knock on him was he struck out a lot. This season, his average is over 100 points higher than it finished last season. What has been the difference with Hunter Cole, and what do you see that has made him the best hitter on the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox?
Well, average is up and strikeouts are down, Greg. You talked about that, and that's something that Anthony Santinello, my broadcast partner, and I talk about on our broadcast, too, is that with that strikeout number down, he's been a lot more patient at the plate. He's worked some walks. Favorable counts, too, and he's been able to see some good pitches, and you sure know from last year he has a lot of pop in that bat. Now 4 home runs for the Red Sox. He just hit one out yesterday.
Tonight's starter, Michael Murray, did not allow an earned run in his lone start against the Kettleers, but he's gotten the raw end of the stick, an 0-4 record, an ERA slightly above 4.10. But Michael Murray, one of the most talented guys on this Yarmouth Dennis roster, was the pitcher of the year in the Atlantic Sun Conference. Do the numbers indicate his performance, or is there something else that we're not seeing?
Well, Murray came into the season as the pitcher to watch on this YD staff. Highly touted out of Florida Gulf Coast, he finished the season leading the nation in wins with 13. A 13-1 record for the Eagles there this past season. Here at YD, like you mentioned, he's gotten the raw end of the stick. He hasn't allowed too many earned runs, but he never seems to get any run support when he's on the mound. 0-4 record this season, but we'll see if that changes today.
The last time that these two teams played, YD beat Katuitt 9-1, and there's that disastrous 8th inning in which the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox scored 3 runs on 3 consecutive wild pitches. But Steve, this was a team, it's basically 2 games where Katuitt won a nail-biter and YD won a blowout. Is there anything specific you're expecting today?
Well, I think that 9-1 victory over Katuitt was really when things started to get going offensively for YD, and since then the Red Sox have been putting up some much better numbers up at the plate. Now, obviously, we'll see what happens tonight offensively, and there are games where the Red Sox have been quiet, but really the key to the game is the bullpen, and the combination of Billy Strode from Florida State and Phil Bickford, the closer from Cal State Fullerton. Bickford was a starter at Cal State Fullerton, but he's on a 40-pitch limit here this summer, so the Red Sox have been using him in the back of the bullpen as a closer. Now, they had the night off yesterday after Bickford got his 4th save the day before on Saturday. On Friday. That was against Harwich in a 2-0 victory. Tonight, you may very well see them if YD gets up by a couple of runs in, say, the 7th or 8th inning. Watch out.
Steve Goldberg, thank you so much for joining me here on Broadcasters Corner. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Greg.
That was Steve Goldberg, play-by-play broadcaster for the YD Red Sox. We'll be back with more of the Kettleers warm-up after this.
It's time for Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Now with lineups and first pitch, here's Greg Mraz.
A beautiful day here at Lowell Park, the back end of a 2-game homestand here against Wareham and YD. The Kettleers have taken the field behind their starter from Alabama, Nick Eichholz. Let's get you the YD starting lineup. Leading off, the center fielder, Andrew Stevenson. Vincent Jackson hits second. He plays left. Hunter Cole, the 2013 Kettleer, making his first appearance at Lowell Park since last season. He plays first and hits third. Jordan Tarsevich cleans up. He's playing third. Rob Fonseca, the DH, he hits fifth. TJ Wharton, the new addition, is behind the plate, hitting sixth. AJ Simcox plays short. He hits seventh. Ramsey Romano hits eighth and plays second. And batting ninth, the right fielder, Brennan Lund.
Defensively for the Kettleers, left to right in the outfield, John Norwood makes his first official start in the outfield against Harwich last week. Norwood was a late addition to the lineup in the field due to an injury to Jackson Glines. Glines will start his first game in center field for the Kettleers, Rhett Wiseman in right. Brendan Hendricks, Logan Taylor, Jordan Ebert making his Kettleers debut, and Jamison Fisher around the horn. And Ian Rice does the catching for Nick Eichholz.
Nick Eichholz on the season for the Kettleers, making his fourth appearance. His last start was not so good, only went 2 innings, giving up 3 runs on 7 hits against the Falmouth Commodores. a 5.40 ERA in 6 2/3 innings pitched. Eichholz, in his last start, gave up 24 pitches in the first inning against Falmouth. So that needs to change as Andrew Stevenson, the center fielder from LSU, steps to the plate. Stevenson hitting .297 on the season, 1 home run, he's driven in 9, 30 hits and 101 at-bats. That 1 home run came against the Kettleers at Red Wilson Field. Kettleers in their home whites with pinstripes and maroon lettering. The Whitey Red Sox in their road red tops with Whitey stitched on the left side of the jersey. First pitch from Eichholz. Fastball that misses low and away, and we're underway here from Lowell Park. Kettleers infield is back at all spots except for Brendan Hendricks in on the grass at third. Righty-lefty matchup. 1-0, fastball taken at the knees for a strike, count even at 1-1. It's time to give you our umpires, brought to you by Friendlies, because we want friendly conversations between our umpires and our teams. Tom Major behind the plate, Joe Peters at first, and Jeff Merslow at third. 1-1, changeup misses low and in, count to 2-1 on the Whitey center fielder from LSU.
Out of the gate, Nick Eichholz showing a couple of breaking balls to Stevenson.
2-1, Stevenson slices it foul over the third base grandstand. Count even up at 2-2.
It's funny, team president Paul Logan mentioned to me before the game today that this is the first time in a while in his memory, being a president for 14 years here with Cotuit, there's been back-to-back home games on the weekend.
2-2, breaking ball misses way high. It goes over the glove of Ian Rice and to the backstop.
The last time he remembers the Kettleers having a home games on Saturday and Sunday was 8 years ago.
Payoff on the way to Andrew Stevenson. Swing and a foul back. Almost him on a hands. A sweeping fastball to the inside. Count remains full on Stevenson.
And the organization looks to take full advantage of that.
Eichholz stares in over the glove. Payoff on the way again to Stevenson. Fastball outside. A leadoff walk issued to the Whitey center fielder. So Eichholz, in a battle with Andrew Stevenson, walks him. A man on for Vincent Jackson. Stevenson on the season, 14 for 15 in stolen base attempts. So he will go. Brendan Hendricks in on the grass at third. Jamison Fisher holding on Andrew Stevenson at first. Vincent Jackson steps to the plate. The left fielder from the University of Tennessee. Pick off to first. Stevenson dives back to the bag.
You know, Stevenson has 14 stolen bags already for YD. In his entire season at LSU, he was 9 for 14. So matching his attempts with the number of stolen bags he has in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Another pick to first, but Stevenson back safely. Jackson has been hot in his last 10 games. Runner going, pitch outside, throw down to first, or down to second, not in time. Make that stolen base number 15 on the season for Andrew Stevenson.
Pretty good jump and a solid throw from Ian Rice, but credit Stevenson. He's been at it all year. Logan Taylor also playing shortstop for the first time in a long time. The last time Logan Taylor played some consistent short was during that first weekend when the Lexington Blue Sox came to Lowell Park for a exhibition series.
1-0 to Jackson. Fastball at the knees, taken for a strike, 1-1.
And of course, with Kyle Holder all done with the club, Drew Jackson takes over that spot. But now with the addition of Jordan Ebert, definitely makes some shifts in the lineup. And of course, Mike Roberts has been going with that offensive approach, getting the best bats in the order.
Breaking ball outside of Vincent Jackson. Count to 2-1. Jackson hitting .235 over his last 10 ball games. 4 for 17. Has not been very hot of late. I said he was hot, but had to look up. He's hitting .188 on the season. 9 hits and 48 at-bats. 2-1 on the way to Jackson. Fastball taken on the outside corner for a strike. Count even at 2-2. For a guy hitting .188, I'm surprised that you hit him second in the order. He hit 9th the last time the Kettleers faced him.
And, of course, that one home run for Vincent Jackson came at Red Wilson Field when the Kettleers lost 9-1 back on June 21st. So he has some pop against the Kettles.
2-2, chopped right back to Eichholz. He looks Stevenson back to second, fires to first. Jackson retired. Stevenson does not move up. One guy who has been hot is the man stepping to the plate, Hunter Cole. And Cole does not get much of an applause. I'm very surprised by that. Hunter Cole played all of last season with the Cotuit Kettleers and was a guy who very much led by example. He struggled at times, but he's having a great year with YD. He's hitting .405 in his last 10 ball games, 15 for 37. First pitch on the way to Hunter Cole. He slices it foul out of play. 0-1 the count on the first baseman from Georgia. On the season for YD, hitting at .355. He leads the Red Sox in home runs with 4 and RBIs with 22. He has a .407 OBP and has 27 hits and 76 at-bats.
In his last 10, hitting just over .400. He's been lethal in the lineup for Scott Pickler.
Cole laces it to left. On his horse, the left fielder, Norwood. He can't get it. Stevenson rounds third. Throw goes to second base. Stevenson scores. Hunter Cole remains red hot. An RBI single in the top of the first. It's 1-0 YD.
Cole didn't hit that pitch all that hard, but good spot located down the left field line. Of course, John Norwood has a long run playing in normal depth in left field, and Cole keeps at it. RBI number 11 in his last 10 games.
Pick the first, Cole back safely.
And overall, 23rd RBI of the season.
Another guy who's been hot steps to the plate. Jordan Tarcevich hitting .348 this season for the YD Red Sox. First pitch, fastball at the knees, taken for a strike 0-1. Tarcevich in his last 10 games hitting at .270, 10 hits and 37 at-bats. The third baseman from the Virginia Military Institute. Started the season with Harwich, but was cut in the first week of the season. 0-1, fastball, swing and a miss. It gets away from Ian Rice. Hunter Cole scampers to second. So a wild pitch from Nick Eichholz, although that one will more than likely be ruled a passed ball because it hit Ian Rice's glove. So Cole moves to second. He's in scoring position. 0-2 on Tarcevich with one out.
You know, when you go back to Cole, RBI number 23, he has a safe lead of 4 RBIs on A.J. Murray and Ian Happ, both from Chatham and Harwich, respectively. So he's separating himself as one of the best.
0-2 on the way. Ring him up. Strike 3 called. Tarcevich gone looking. Cutting fastball to the outside from Nick Eichholz. 2 away for Rob Fonseca. Here's Fonseca, the DH from Northeastern. Fonseca hitting at .338, 2 home runs. He's driven in 13, leads the Red Sox with a .435 OBP. First pitch on the way. Breaking ball almost hits Fonseca. Counts 1-0. Fonseca over his last 10 ball games, hitting at an even .333, 10 hits and 30 at-bats. Eichholz sets, looks back at Hunter Cole at second. Delivers the 1-0. Fonseca hits it on the ground. It goes off of the glove of Brendan Hendricks. He recovers, fires on to first in time to get the lumbering Rob Fonseca. But YD strikes first on an RBI single by a former Kettleer, Hunter Cole. Kettleers coming to bat in the bottom of the first, 1-0 Yarmouth Dennis on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network and Comcast Channel 99 from Mashpee all the way to Chatham and Sandwich, Channel 13.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees.
Welcome back to Lowell Park as the YD Red Sox take the field behind Michael Murray, the right-hander from Florida Gulf Coast. Let's give you the Kettleers starting lineup. John Norwood leads off. He plays left. Jackson Glines hits second. He's in center. Rhett Wiseman is in right. He hits third. Jameson Fisher cleans up. He's at first. Ian Rice does the catching. He hits fifth. Brendan Hendricks plays third. He's hitting sixth. Logan Taylor bats seventh. He's at short. Jordan Ebert plays second. He's hitting eighth. First pitch to John Norwood. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike 0-1. And batting ninth, the DH, Jeremy Taylor.
Defensively, left to right in the outfield for YD, Vincent Jackson, Andrew Stevenson, Brendan Lund.
0-1 breaking ball. Take it at the knees for a strike. 0-2 on John Dice Norwood.
And left to right around the horn, Jordan Tarsevich, A.J. Simcox, Ramsey Romano, Hunter Cole, and T.J. Wharton does the catching from Michael Murray.
0-2 on the way. Norwood dribbles down the ground to Simcox, gobbles it up at short, fires across in time to get John Norwood. Michael Murray went 13-1 this season for the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. He was the Atlantic Sun Pitcher of the Year, but 0-4 with a .415 ERA so far for the YD Red Sox. He was supposed to be this team's ace pitcher. In his first start of the season against the Cotuit Kettleers, though, went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs. They were both unearned. 4 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Here's Jackson Glines. First pitch breaking ball misses outside. 1-0 count to the center fielder from the University of Michigan. Glines hit a long fly ball yesterday that almost got out of the ballpark. 1-0 on the way to Glines. Fastball high and away. Count to 2-0. But it was robbed at the wall by Charlie Warren, who crashed up into the fence in right center field and made a spectacular play. 2-0 on Glines. Glines this season for the Kettleers hitting at .225, 9 hits in 40 at-bats. Righty-lefty matchup, YD infield is back. 2-0, fastball at the knees, on the outside, taking for a strike, 2-1. On deck, Rhett Wiseman, the right fielder from Vanderbilt University. Murray winds, kicks in the 2-1. Sweeping breaking ball, but it misses high and away. 3-1 the count on Jackson Glines. Murray settles back in. Stares in over the glove. Gets the sign and delivers the 3-1. Glines hits it hard to center field. Going back on an Andrew Stevenson. He is out in the left center field gap, and he nonchalantly makes the catch for out number 2.
That ball not hit as hard as Jackson Glines shot in the 8th inning yesterday. Recall, after John Norwood tied the game in the 8th inning for the Kettleers against Wareham at 2 apiece, Jackson Glines hit the very next pitch off Anthony Kay to deep right center, and a nice grab in center field for Wareham. A nice play that really shut the door on that play. You have to give a lot of credit to Charlie Warren, the center fielder from Rice.
That brings up Rhett Wiseman, the Kettleer right fielder from Vanderbilt, hitting now at .275. First pitch, changeup misses low for ball 1. Wiseman went 2 for 3 yesterday, 2 singles, a walk, and a run scored. Righty-lefty matchup, Wiseman stands in, waggles the bat, 1-0 on the way from Murray. Changeup that sweeps across, count even at 1-1. That pitch more of a slider. Has change-up speed, but has slider movement. 1-1 on the way from Murray. Fastball misses low and away to the left-handed hitting Wiseman. 2-1 the count. On deck, Jameson Fisher. Rhett Wiseman is due for a home run. The reason I say that is he hit 4 last season for the Cotuit Kettleers. Murray winds, kicks, and delivers. 2-1, fastball on the low outside corner. count at 2-2. Whitey leads 1-0 on an RBI single by Hunter Cole. And I say that because Wiseman hit 4 home runs last season for the 2013 Kettleers. He hit none this year for the Vanderbilt Commodores in 62 starts and has none so far this year. 2-2. Fastball misses low and away. Count goes to full, 3-2. TJ Wharton, the catcher, just assigned his number today. He was just activated. Wears number 28. A number that was previously worn by Ryan Hissey, who has since been released. 3-2. Sweeper. Misses inside for ball 4, a 2-out walk issued to Rhett Wiseman. Brings up the hot-hitting Jamison Fisher. Fisher on the season hitting at .342, 26 hits and 76 at-bats, a .405 OBP. Fisher continues to mash. He's been one of the Kettleers' hottest hitters. Yesterday, went 2 for 4 with a run scored. First pitch slider misses inside. Wharton out of the crouch, and he almost fires to first. Holding on, Rhett Wiseman at first is Hunter Cole. Sure, they're hamming it up to former summer ball teammates. Both of them 2013 Cape League champions. 1-0, swing and a miss. Fastball, low and away, had a lot of movement on it. Count even at 1-1. Fisher holds the bat out. Wiseman going. Pitch misses outside. Fired a second from Wharton. 1 hops to the shortstop, A.J. Simcox. A really bad throw from T.J. Wharton. That ball didn't even fly all the way past the infield grass. 2-1 on Fisher. Wiseman in scoring position. The Kettleers have a chance to tie this ball game. 1-0 Yarmouth Dennis. We're in the bottom of the first. Alongside Brendan Glasheen, I'm Greg Mraz. Murray in the stretch. Gets a sign from Wharton. Wharton should probably tuck in his jersey all the way. His back flap is hanging out.
He has to get used to the new uni.
New league, new uni. Just want to make him look good. Murray sets, delivers a 2-1. Breaking ball, a beautiful slider, but he misses low, 3-1 to Fisher.
You know, he could be just too small for him. 6 foot, 215-pound catcher, first baseman. It looks like that flap, although it's out, it looks a little small.
Murray looks back at Wiseman at second, looks back a second time, 3-1. Hit up the middle, but right to A.J. Simcox. He ranges towards the second base bag, fires on to first in time to get Jamison Fisher. A 2-out walk and a stolen base gets Rhett Wiseman to second, but he's stranded there. We're through 1 at Lowell Park, 1-0 Yarmouth Dennis, here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years.
Welcome back. TJ Wharton leads it off against Nick Eichholz. Wharton from Catawba, JC, transferred from Greensboro Tech. He also played a season at UNC Greensboro, so TJ Wharton has been all over the map. First pitch to Wharton misses low for ball one. Wharton just activated today. The YD Red Sox have had some troubles with catching. 1-0 on the way from Eichholz. Fastball at the knees, taken for a strike. Wharton hit .298 this season. He led Catawba with 10 home runs and 57 RBIs, a slugging percentage of .500, and an OBP of .349. Breaking ball on the inside corner, taken for a strike, 1-2 the count. On deck, A.J. Simcox, the shortstop from Tennessee. Eichholz lines, delivers. Wharton chops it on the ground. Hendricks fields it at the third base bag, fires across in time to get T.J. Wharton. Wharton retired for the first out of the second, and the back flap on his jersey still not tucked in.
We'll have to give Scott Pickler a shout when he's jogging back to the dugout after the half inning to hopefully send the message over, but
brings up A.J. Simcox. Simcox, the shortstop from the University of Tennessee. First pitch on the way from Eichholz. Fastball misses low and away for ball one. We talk about the statistic done in Major League Baseball about the leadoff walk coming in to score 50% of the time, and it happened for YD in the first. 1-0, breaking ball misses low and into Simcox, 2-0. Simcox on the season, hitting at .264, 19 hits in 72 at-bats, no home runs, he's driven in 8. 2-0, fastball misses well low and well in. Simcox in the catbird seat, it's a 3-0 count. On deck, Ramsey Romano, the new addition from the University of Michigan. Fastball at the knees, taken for a strike, 3-1. Simcox waggles the bat, righty-righty matchup. Hendricks in on the grass at third. 3-1, Simcox chops it foul down the third base side, over towards the Kettleers dugout. Count goes to full, 3-2. Simcox hitting .429 in 2 games against the Kettleers this year. Pops the payoff out of play to the right side. Simcox, in 7 at-bats against Cotuit, 3 hits, a run, and an RBI. A .429 average. Pretty darn good. Payoff on the way again from Nick Eichholz. Simcox laces it up the middle. A dive from Jordan Ebert. The first play made by the new Kettleer second baseman. Makes the catch for out number 2.
that ball was blooped towards the middle but hung enough in the air for Ebert to range to his right and make some sort of play. That's a nice way to fit in with the new team. A diving catch up the middle. We talked with Trey Wingenter yesterday after the game during the post-game cookout.
First pitch to Ramsey Romano, the second baseman from Michigan, misses high and in for ball 1.
He mentioned how good of a hitter Jordan Ebert is, but this kid can play anywhere defensively. That's what Trey was informing us after yesterday's game.
1-0 fastball misses low, 2-0 the count to Romano. Romano just added from the University of Michigan. Romano hit .244 this season in Ann Arbor. College teammates with Jackson Glines, the Kettleers starting center fielder today. 2-0, swing and a miss. Count to 1. Scoreboard is wrong. Or at least it should have been wrong. It says 1 and 2. Should read 2 and 1. Pitch on the way. Ball inside. Count at 2 and 2. Pitch in the dirt. Count goes to full, 3 and 2. One nothing YD. We're in the top of the second here at Lowell Park. Payoff on the way. Romano laces it up the middle, charging Jackson Glines. He won't get it, a base hit. Romano, a 2-out single. Second hit allowed by Nick Eicholtz. Brings up the 9th-place hitter from BYU, Brennan Lund.
That has to be frustrating if you're Eicholtz, because going for that 1-2-3 start, you put Romano on, and now you have to face Lund. It's always nice to lead off an inning on the mound against the 9-hitter. It gives you some sort of added confidence, and that's one of the keys Mike Roberts said of Nick Eicholtz today. Confidence is the measuring stick for him.
9th-place hitter Brennan Lund from BYU. First pitch fastball misses low for ball 1. Our game tracker system is not working here, so we cannot give you an exact pitch count at the moment, but Nick Eicholtz has fallen behind. Pick off to first, back safely. Ramsey Romano. But Eicholtz is already at 36 pitches. Lund hits it on the ground right to Ebert at second, and it goes off of his glove into right field. Rounding second, heading to third, Ramsey Romano. Throw on the way from Rhett Wiseman, not in time. An error on the second baseman, Jordan Ebert. Lund reaches. Runners at the corners, 2 outs for Andrew Stevenson.
This same scenario happened to former Ole Miss second baseman, former Kettleer, Dalton Doolin. When he arrived, he made a nice play to start his first game with the Kettleers, then followed with an error. Of course, Doolin no longer with the club, and the ball just eats up Ebert. But first and third, you still have the 2 outs.
Brings up Andrew Stevenson. Led off the game with a walk. Stole second, picked to first. Back safely, Brennan Lund. 1-0 YD and a chance to add more. Eicholtz sets. In the stretch, delivers the pitch to Stevenson. Fastball on the outer paint. Taken for a strike, 0-1 the count. Stevenson, the center fielder from LSU. Romano at third. Lund at first. Infield back except for Hendricks at third. Changeup misses low. Good pick by Ian Rice. Count even at 1-1. Logan Taylor back at short. Jordan Ebert back at second. This inning still alive because of Jordan Ebert's error. Jackson Glines shifted slightly to the left of dead center field. Eicholtz sets. Delivers the 1-1. Stevenson shows bunt, pulls back, takes a strike. Counts 1-2.
That's a great spot by Nick Eicholtz on the outer half of the plate. That's a pitch where, as a hitter, you look at it out of the arm slot, it looks way too low. But that's a perfect location, probably the lowest of a strike you can get. And those are the types of pitches you want, especially when you're ahead in the count and there's 2 down in a big spot with runners on.
Pick to first, but Lund gets back safely. 1-2, swing and a miss. Dipping changeup from Nick Eicholtz, and he gets out of a jam. We're through 1.5, still 1-0 Red Sox here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Comcast Channel 99 from Mashpee to Chatham, and Channel 13 in Sandwich. Stay with us, friends.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
Ian Rice leads it off against Michael Murray. We're in the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Red Sox. On an RBI single by Hunter Cole in the top of the first. Michael Murray back to work against Ian Rice, the catcher from Chipola College, transferring to Houston. First pitch from Murray, misses inside for ball one. Ian Rice has been hitting over 400 in his last 10 ball games, hitting .279 on the season. Fastball taken to the knees for a strike, count even at 1 on Rice. We had a chance to talk with Ian Rice's father. Came up in the booth before the game, just wanted to say hello and say that he's been tuning into all of our broadcasts. 1-1, chop back to the screen just to the left of home plate. Count to 1-2. Brendan Hendricks, yesterday's hero, stands on deck. Whitey infield is back at all spots. Outfield, straight away. Murray winds and delivers the 1-2. Sweeping curve misses high and away. Count even up at 2. Murray's breaking pitches have phenomenal movement. 2-2 offering on the way to Rice. Hits him in the helmet. And Rice falls down. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
Ian Rice is okay. Trainer Craig Moody walking him down the first base line. Ian Rice is going to stay in the ball game. That's the epitome of toughness right there, friends. Getting hit in the helmet with a pitch that has a lot of movement on it. Rice still being tested down at first base. Joe Peters, the first base umpire, along with first base coach Brian Bambanek, as Moody is still out there. No determination yet, though. It looked as if Rice was going to stay in this game, but Moody is doing concussion tests right now on Ian Rice.
And you said it. That's the type of pitch that goes right up towards your head. No time for reaction. All you can do there is just move your face away from the pitch, and not much time to get out of the way. And it looks like Rice is going to fight through this and stay in the ball game.
Craig Moody, the Kettleer trainer, trots back to the dugout. And Brendan Hendricks, after a long delay, will step to the plate. Very impressed that Ian Rice is electing to stay in this ball game. Hendricks hit a 3-run homer in yesterday's game that gave the Kettleers a 5-2 lead. First pitch to Hendricks. Fastball misses away for ball one. This has to disrupt the rhythm of Michael Murray to have to wait that long. But On the contrary side, he's the one that threw the pitch at Ian Rice's helmet. 1-0, hit out of play to the left side. Count even up at 1-1.
You know, going back to Hendricks yesterday, entered that at bat, hitting .375 with 10 RBIs with runners in scoring position. Now has 13 total, second on the team behind Logan Taylor.
1-1 offering in the dirt. Good pick by the catcher, T.J. Wharton. Back flap still not tucked in. Imagine it's not going to get tucked in today.
We'll have to have what's called a back flap watch. Keep everybody updated.
Murray sets at the letters. 2-1 offering on the way to Hendricks. Slider hits the inner paint. The left-handed hitting third baseman from San Francisco. Count even at 2-2. On deck, Jordan Ebert, the new addition from Auburn. Ebert sets, throw to first. Rice dives back safely. If I'm Mike Roberts after what just happened, Ian Rice should not be trying to steal a base. You want to just keep him calm over at first base. Cole holds him on. Rice takes a 3-step lead at first. Murray sets. Delivers a 2-2. Hendricks fouls out a play to the left side. And we'll do the 2-2 again.
And you have a good hitter at the plate that can certainly stall some time. Hendricks might be a guy that's aggressive in the count, but even when he falls behind, he works a great at bat against most pitchers.
Murray sets, gets the sign, delivers the 2-2. Hendricks loops it out into shallow left field. That one's going to fall in front of Vincent Jackson. He blocks it with his glove. Jackson was not sure whether he was going to get to that ball or not, but a base hit for Brendan Hendricks brings up Logan Taylor, the Kettleers shortstop from Texas A&M.
First hit against Michael Murray today for the Kettleers, a base hit that just bloops into left field for Hendricks. Inside out's that fastball into left field, and Vincent Jackson doesn't want to take the risk of diving for it, so instead he puts his body in front, lets it bounce in front of him. Now the Kettleers in business with nobody out, first and second. Maybe we'll see Logan Taylor drop down a bunt.
Taylor hitting at .253, 24 hits and 95 at-bats, playing in his 28th game. The only player to play in every game for Cotuit this season. 3 home runs, he's driven in 14. First pitch hit through the left side, a base hit. Ian Rice will be held up at third as Vincent Jackson fields it cleanly. Throw cut off by Jordan Tarsevich. Bases packed with Kettleers, nobody out for Jordan Ebert, the new arrival.
Mike Roberts initially waved Rice around, then threw the stop sign up. Perhaps you have to give Jackson some credit for getting to that baseball quickly, but if you're Mike Roberts, understanding what just happened to Ian Rice at the plate, do you want to risk your catcher that just got hit in the helmet to run into a play at the plate? That's something you don't want to see.
Also, Ian Rice does not have great speed, and now Mike Roberts is talking with trainer Craig Moody. And Mike Roberts may be calling for a pinch runner here. No determination made yet, but a meeting on the mound right now with the Whitey battery and pitching coach. So Jordan Ebert will step to the plate, led the SEC in batting average this season as a member of the Auburn Tigers at a .353 clip. Very impressive. Ebert, a rising sophomore, a rising junior from Foley, Alabama. A right-handed hitter. Rice at third, Hendricks at second, Taylor at first, time called. Ebert steps out.
Ebert, one of the SEC's best hitters this past year, tied for second with the Auburn Tigers with 29 RBIs behind Blake Austin with 31.
Ebert fouls the first pitch he sees back over the screen. 0-1 the count on Ebert, wearing number 15, which was worn by D.C. Arendis, who started the season as the Kettleers starting second baseman, was the number worn last season by Jake Fincher. Murray sets, looks back at second, delivers the 0-1. Ebert pops it up in the infield. Hunter Cole over in the infield grass. Settles under it, makes the catch as he falls to the ground. Hunter Cole lost it in the sun, but makes the play for the first out of the inning. Bases remain loaded for Jeremy Taylor.
Tough spot for your first at bat with the Kettleers, a bases loaded scenario with nobody out. And Hunter Cole certainly lost that one. He started to plant his feet in foul ground, then had to work all the way back into the infield to the far right of the first base bag to make that catch. So Cole, his original read was not good.
First pitch to Taylor, swinging away, a loop right on the pitcher's mound, calling off Michael Murray, the third baseman, Jordan Tarsevich. Tarsevich called off Michael Murray. Taylor retired on one pitch. Murray had that ball in his sight, and he essentially ducked out of the way to allow Tarsevich to come over and make the play.
One of the cardinal rules in baseball is the shortstop has the priority over all the defenders. And then a play like that, the pitcher has to give way to one of the infielders. In that case, I think with the angle Tarsevich had, I think it's the right play for him to make.
Here's John Norwood. First pitch breaking ball taken to the knees for a strike, 0-1. Kettleers trying to take advantage of a golden opportunity. Bases loaded with nobody out, but two straight pop-outs have put this in a situation where the Kettleers need a base hit to score a run. Murray sets, delivers the 0-1. Slider misses low and away to Norwood, who grounded out 6-3 to lead off the game for the Kettleers.
And right here, you need a patient at bat because Jeremy Taylor swings on the first pitch to pop out for the second out, and then Ebert only saw two pitches. Norwood needs to make Murray work here. At least the one thing you can get out of this inning is a long pitch count.
1-1 in Norwood. Swing and a miss. Fouled off of home plate umpire Tom Major. Also knocks off the mask of T.J. Wharton. 1-2 on Norwood.
And right now the pitch count up to 37 pitches for Murray. 21 for strikes, 16 balls.
Time called. Norwood steps out. He'll step back in. Rice at third, Hendricks at second, Logan Taylor at first. Red Sox lead 1-0. 1-2 the count on Norwood. Bases loaded. Red Sox lead by a run. Kettleers trying to tie. Murray sets, delivers the 1-2. Norwood swing and a miss. Slider. Norwood cut right through it. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the Kettleers get nothing. We're through two at Lowell Park, still 1-0 YD here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years.
We're back at Lowell Park. Some defensive changes for the Kettleers. Ian Rice was hit in the helmet the previous half inning, so Jamison Fisher has moved to behind the plate, and Jake Fincher has taken over at first base. for the Kettleers. We hope Ian Rice is okay. Top of the third at Lowell Park, a 1-0 lead for YD. Nick Eichholz on to face Vincent Jackson, the two-hitter. Fastball high and away to start the at-bat. 1 ball, no strikes on the Tennessee left fielder. Jackson grounded back to Eichholz in his first at-bat. 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses low and away at 91. 2-0. Outfield straightaway, infield also at normal depth. Brendan Hendricks in on the lip of the grass, down the third base line. Eichholz into the windup, fires the 2-0. Change up, misses low, also away. Eichholz starts the at-bat with a 3-ball count, 3-0. Hunter Cole, Jordan Tarsevich, the other expected batters in the inning. Eichholz, the righty, into the windup, the 3-0. Fastball, a put me over one. At 89 on the outside corner at the knees, low and away, 3-1. We mentioned earlier Vincent Jackson with a home run and 4 RBIs this season. The homer coming against the Kettleers earlier this year. Hit to the left side, just by Taylor, a base hit as it rolls into Norwood's glove in left field. A leadoff single for Vincent Jackson. The volunteer from Tennessee on first base with nobody out for Hunter Cole. Former Kettleer Hunter Cole, as he was earlier at first base chatting with his former teammate, Rhett Wiseman. First pitch fastball up and in. It gets off the glove of Jamison Fisher. Jackson troops his way down the second base line. As he rounds the bag, he stands at second with nobody out.
You have to remember, Jamison Fisher has not played catcher since, I believe it was actually the third game of the season against these YD Red Sox. Jamison Fisher has hardly caught at all this season. Had a clear pass ball.
Mike Roberts really needs him to step up here. The 1-0 hit down the line, foul. What's interesting is Coach Roberts does have Trace Barrera as an available option behind the plate. Now, perhaps Roberts wants to keep Fisher's hot bat in the lineup. That's, to me, seems like the most likely reason. Jackson at second with nobody out here in the third inning at Lowell Park. 1-0 YD. 1-1 pitch. Fastball tails away to the right-handed hitting Hunter Cole. Responsible for the Red Sox first run today. An RBI single down the left field line to plate Andrew Stevenson. Eichholz gets his sign from Fisher. He sets at the chest, looks back at Jackson, the 2-1. A half-hearted swing, as well as an awkward stride by Cole. He waves through it, 2-2. Kettleers wrapping up a weekend home series, something that, to our knowledge, has not happened in a long, long time. Eichholz to the set, the left foot in front of the right. Pounds off the mound, a fastball, misses low, pretty good pitch, but the count full 3-2. Eichholz once again gets his sign. Payoff pitch on the way to Cole. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Got him on a breaking ball. Now Fisher has to throw down the first. It's high, but Fincher tags the first base bag with his right toes for the out. 1 down for Jordan Tarsevich. Tarsevich struck out looking for Eichholz's first strikeout as Jackson remains at second. Jordan Ebert teasing the second base bag. First pitch, a drag bunt attempt by Tarsevich, but pulls back. A fastball way outside. 1 ball, no strikes. One-0. Fastball in the dirt. Fisher keeps it in front. Hunter Cole, again, the newest addition last year, after he just struck out. With the Kettleers last season, Cole hit .241, hit 2 bombs, drove in 12. He's responsible for the only run today in this ballgame. YD up 1-0 with 1 out in the top of the third. 2-0 pitch. Change up. Locks him at the knees. Tarcevic can only stare at a great pitch from Nick Eichholz. 2-1.
Eichholz has still been getting behind in the count, and that's been the reason why YD has been able to get 6 base runners on to this point.
The righty from Alabama works quickly. 2-1 pitch. Another change up at 82. Drops low and away. Full count on the right-handed hitter Tarcevic from Virginia Military. Beautiful afternoon here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. 3-1 pitch. Change up, doesn't break as it goes over the head of Tarcevic. Caught by Fisher. A free bag, and Tarcevic takes it. Jackson remains at second. First and second with 1 out for Fonseca.
Nick Eichholz does not seem to have very good command of his curveball. His curveball's been missing high. His changeup and fastball he's been able to keep down, but that curve just does not seem to be dropping.
Pitch count close to 60. First pitch, a fastball low and away to Fonseca of Northeastern. Now Coach Roberts, a fast jog out to the mound to speak with his right-handed hurler from Tuscaloosa. Three hits, 1 run for Cotuit. 1 run, 3 hits for YD. 2 hits, no runs for the Kettleers. An error earlier on by Jordan Ebert in the second inning has had no effect on the run total. And now home plate umpire Tom Major out to join the conversation as well. Eichholz has yet to go beyond the 3rd inning in any of his outings this season with Cotuit. That would hopefully be his goal today, based on the outings we've seen him pitch. A 5.40 ERA entering today's game. His last appearance, July 7th, to start against Falmouth. 1-0. Fastball, pounds the knees, inside corner. Evens the count, 1-1. Jackson at second, Tarcevic at first. The YD Red Sox already lead the Cotuit Kettleers 1-0. 1-1. Change up, pounded in the dirt. It rolls down the third baseline, foul. Meeting number 3 of 4 between these two clubs. The Kettleers defeated YD in Game 3 of the regular season, 2-1. The Kettleers' first win of the 2014 season. These teams also played a week later, June 21st, a 9-1 YD win at Red Wilson Field. Eichholz ahead 1-2. Delivers the 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Fonseca thought about it. He went around, says home plate umpire John Major. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Eichholz. 2 big outs.
And now Ashton Parrott starting to stretch out in the bullpen for the Kettleers down the left field line.
TJ Wharton from Catawba College steps to the plate. New addition for the Red Sox. Hey, he's tucked in his shirt. Fastball high and away, though. 1-0. We've been mentioning the Wharton watch to make sure he's tucked in the back of his shirt. He finally has here in the 3rd inning. A fastball inside corner, but too far in. It's 2-0.
Maybe he heard us.
Maybe. Perhaps Buster Olney reported it. 2-0. Fastball. Low and away. Eichholz falls behind 3-0. See, these are the circumstances that come back to bite him as a pitcher, because those were 3 straight fastballs, not even breaking balls, that were just off the plate. 3-0. Fastball, a respectable call from Major, called strike on the inside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike. Wharton grounded out to Hendricks over at third for the first out of the 2nd inning. Eichholz to the set. 3-1 pitch. Fastball chopped in the dirt towards third. Hendricks crow hops towards first in time as he throws out Wharton to retire the side. YD sends 2 guys to the base paths, but nothing to do. We'll go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Still 1-0 Red Sox on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Barnstable-Mashpee, Channel 99, and Channel 13 Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary.
Last of the third at Lowell Park, 1-0 YD as the Kettleers send 2, 3, and 4 to the plate. Glines, Wiseman, and Fisher against Michael Murray. First pitch fastball chopped in the dirt towards second. Romano picks it up, fires to first base in time to get the leadoff man, Jackson Glines. One down to start the third. Now, Greg, you mentioned that Thursday of last week, an off day in the CCBL, you attended the White Sox-Red Sox game, a game in which the Red Sox were able to win 4-3 in 10 innings on a walk-off hit. But not only that, not only did the Boston Red Sox win, but you met the YD Red Sox starter for today's game.
Me and our director of video operations, Axel Bawada, were walking to get a soda. Axel was specifically, and I saw a couple of guys walking by.
First pitch curveball low and in to Wiseman, the right fielder of Vanderbilt. Wiseman 0 for 0 with a walk and reached second base in the first.
He was wearing a YD Red Sox hat, which is basically a red Chicago White Sox hat.
1-0 fastball outside corner. Murray evens the count 1-1.
And I said, you play for YD? He's like, yeah, I do. And I say, oh, I'm an intern with Cotuit. He's like, nice to meet you. I'm Michael Murray. We had a nice conversation. He's a good guy.
The righty into the windup. 1-1 pitch. Shot to the right side. Picked up by Romano on the slide. The throw to first. Not in time as Wiseman, a face-first slide into the first base bag. He's safe. That comes to show how much you really want to hit. Just the third hit for the Kettleers against Michael Murray.
But Murray was a nice guy, and turns out that Chris Sale, who attended the same college as Michael Murray, Florida Gulf Coast, the Chicago White Sox All-Star and perennial Cy Young candidate for the last couple of years, gave him and some other YD Red Sox tickets.
First pitch breaking ball drops in to Jamison Fisher. The count, 1 ball, no strikes. Fisher grounded to A.J. Simcox, the shortstop, to end the bottom of the first as Murray lets the right glove hold on his thigh along the left pant leg. Comes to the set at the chest, the 1-0. Fastball at the knees, but misses outside, 2-0. Jamison Fisher now catching for the Kettleers in today's game. The change due to Ian Rice being knocked in the head on a hit-by pitch. Stayed in the game on the base paths, then was taken out. 2-0 pitch. Fastball at 87, misses low to Fisher. 3 balls, no strikes.
Oh, the back flaps out again. Well, so much for that.
It was a great run for T.J. Wharton. 3 balls, no strikes. Wiseman at first with a 1-out single. Fisher the batter. 3-0. Fisher takes the strike on the outside corner. 3-1. Outfield and infield straight away. Cole holds on. Wiseman at first. The second time, the former teammates of last year's Kettleers chatted up down the first base line. 3-1 to Fisher. Strikes it off the mask of Wharton. Seems just fine as home plate umpire Tom Major out to deliver a new baseball to Michael Murray. Allows Wharton to have a breather. TJ Wharton comes from Catawba College. Never heard of it until I saw the stat sheet for today's game. Catawba, 3-2. Fisher to the left side. Jackson over a few steps, makes the catch, no problem. Wiseman a long retreat back to first base. 2 down for Jake Fincher.
Vincent Jackson does not seem to be getting good jumps on fly balls. That's the third ball hit his direction. 2 of them fell for hits, but that he has not really been able to track very well exactly where the ball's going.
Catawba College, located in Salisbury, North Carolina. Now Wiseman's caught between first and second. Cole's throw, not in time. Wiseman just got his right hand back on that first base bag, was caught napping between first and second base. It's 1-0 to Jake Fincher. Fincher, his first at bat because he took over for Ian Rice in the ball game. Fisher moved to catcher. Fincher now at first base. Jake now second in the CCBL in batting average at .394, 9 percentage points behind Falmouth's Kevin Newman. He's hitting .405. Fincher squares around, pulls back. It's a strike, though, as the barrel of the bat was over home plate. It's 1-1.
Wouldn't that be something if Kevin Newman wins the batting title 2 straight years?
And that's just nasty. Now, Newman is another guy, like Fincher, came up a little bit later, not as late as Jake did, but tried out for Team USA, 1-1, down the third baseline. It goes off the foot of Fincher, and he lets it be known as he jumped up and down about 3 or 4 times in the batter's box. Takes a walk around the batting circle. He seems just fine. But if Kevin Newman wins another batting title, because now he's got the proper amount of at-bats to be eligible, that would be something. That would be very impressive. 1-2 the count with 2 outs in the third to Fincher as Wiseman stands at first. The 1-2. Fastball way outside. Almost a non-pitch out. Does not work that time as Wharton didn't even throw it down the first base line. 2's across the board. 2-2. 2 out in the third. Already 1-0 YD. Wiseman the tying run at first base. 2-2. Dribbles in the dirt. Now Wharton can't find it. Wiseman takes off. He's going to get into second base standing. Simply couldn't find the baseball at his toe tips. Now it's 3-2 with 2 outs to Fincher. First at bat of the afternoon due to Ian Rice's injury in his previous at bat. A slight open stance for Fincher, the right-handed hitter from NC State. 3-2. Fastball, strike 3 called in the inside corner. And Fincher knew it as he takes a couple of steps ahead of the home plate bag in disappointment. We'll go to the fourth at Lowell Park. 1-0 Red Sox. The score holds on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Barnstable Mashpee, Channel 99, and Channel 13 Sandwich.
The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association wanted to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees.
Bottom of the order steps to the plate for the YD Red Sox. Simcox, Romano, and Lund against Nick Eichholz. Pitch count at 68 pitches after that first pitch strike. A changeup on the outside corner to the Tennessee Volunteers shortstop, Simcox. A.J. lined to second on a diving catch by Jordan Ebert up the middle, 0-1. Simcox, another similar play. Ebert out, and he can't make the catch this time. It loops into center for a base hit. Second time, Simcox has made light contact with the baseball up the middle. This time it goes in his favor. He's on with the base hit to lead off the fourth.
And Mike Roberts is going to make a move.
Nick Eichholz did something today that he hasn't done all year, and that was get into the fourth inning. But now his day done after the base hit by Simcox. His previous 3 outings, 2 innings, 2 2/3. Eichholz done after 3+. New pitcher Ashton Parrott coming on for the Kettleers. Fourth inning, top of the fourth at Lowell Park. Simcox a base hit with still nobody out. Stay with us on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association wanted to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association wanted to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association wanted to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the
Ashton Parrott in to pitch for the Kettleers. The outing done for Nick Eichholz after 3+ innings. Parrott, the new pitcher.
Parrott making his 6th appearance, an 0-1 record, a 2.79 ERA, 9 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 4 walks, and 11 strikeouts.
Ramsey Romano of Michigan. First pitch, he's going. Throw by Fisher easily. Tags Simcox on the first pitch from Parrott in his relief appearance. 1 down. A strike to Romano.
That wasn't even close. I mean, that really wasn't even close. That must have been one of the worst jumps that I've ever seen a runner in this league ever get. He didn't even get a chance to slide into the bag. He got tagged out about 5 feet in front of the bag, standing up.
Parrott comes to the set, shoulder high. 0-1 pitch to Romano. Fastball at 93 on the outside corner. 0-2. Parrott's last outing came at Harwich. A 10-6 loss for the Kettleers last Wednesday. Especially if you're going to send a guy on the first pitch to rattle the reliever. Make it worth it. 0-2. Fastball gets away from Fisher. Blumps in the dirt. It's now 1-2.
That ends the day for Nick Eicholz. His line completely. 3 innings, 1 run. So better, but not where he wants to be.
Allowed 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 4. The pitch count notably over 70. 1-2. Breaking ball again off the right shin guard of Jamison Fisher. Count even 2-2. Romano, a base hit back in the second inning, reached third base. The Red Sox left first and third on at the end of the second. 2-2. Shot to the right side. A long run for Wiseman towards the right field line. Makes the catch to the left of his body to retire Romano.
So Ashton Parrott comes in. He gets an out on a stolen base attempt, if you can even call it that, by Simcox. An easy flyout by Ramsey Romano. And once again, the Kettler bullpen doing a good job of coming in tough situations and getting big outs.
Parrott to the set, looks down at the dirt. Now the first pitch hit over towards Hendricks at third base. Lund hustling, but the throw down to first in time by the third baseman from the University of San Francisco. Half inning over at Lowell Park. We'll head to the last of the fourth. 1-0 YD, the score holds. On the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Barnstable-Mashpee, Channel 99 and Channel 13 Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast
6, 7, and 8 come to the plate for the Kettleers against Michael Murray. Brendan Hendricks to lead off the fourth for the Kettles. Holds the bat out in front. A big day for Brendan yesterday. A 3-run shot in the bottom of the 8th to allow Cotuit to escape with a 5-2 win against the Wareham Gatemen. A shot towards second right at Romano. He makes the catch in a crouched position for out number 1. A line shot by Hendricks. He's now 1 for 2 on the day. That brings up Logan Taylor. Logan, a base hit between Tarcevic and Simcox at third base and shortstop, respectively. Taylor, with his left foot out of the box, gets the sign from Mike Roberts, waggles the bat. First pitch, a nasty breaking ball that cuts right to left. Buckled Taylor at the knees. 0-1 on the third baseman / shortstop from Texas A&M. The 0-1 from Murray. Another breaking ball. This time it cuts in towards the left shoulder of Taylor. Not even close. 1-1. 4 hits, 1 run for YD. The Kettleers, 3 hits and no runs to show. An error today by Jordan Ebert as he waits on deck. The 1-1 pitch. High fastball upstairs and away to the right-handed hitter, Logan Taylor. 2-1. Taylor, the leading RBI getter for the Kettleers with 14. 2-1. Taylor, a high pop-up to the left side of the infield. Simcox ranges over a few steps to his right. Now he backpedals onto the grass and makes the catch in shallow left field for the second out of the bottom of the fourth. 4 straight retired by Michael Murray. So he's the lone starting pitcher to remain in the game. Murray approaching 60 pitches. He's at 59 now after the at-bat to Taylor. 35 strikes, 23 balls. Here's Ebert. Takes a change up, low and away. The count 0-1. Jordan Ebert, the new addition from Auburn, teammates with Trey Wingenter, was also teammates with Ian Rice in summer balls. He takes the change up, low and inside. Both Ebert and Rice were teammates for the East Cobb Baseball League. They both played for the Braves. And other connections to Kettleer players, as Ebert chops it on the ground, hits it over towards short. Simcox waits on it, the throw to first in time to nab one of the SEC's best hitters. A 1-2-3, bottom of the fourth for Michael Murray. Still 1-0 YD right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Barnstable Mashpee, Channel 99, and Channel 13 Sandwich.
The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association wanted to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association wanted to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years.
Top of the order, due up for YD against Ashton Parrott. His first full inning of work. Andrew Stevenson steps to the plate. Walked and scored in the first, struck out swinging in the second. Pitch on the way from Parrott, swing and a miss. Changeup at 80. Dips low and out of the zone on Stevenson, count to 0-1. Packed house here today at Lowell Park. So glad he could be with us. Parrott does all of his pitching from the stretch. The 0-1, fastball, low and in, count even at 1-1. Hits the gun at 94. Kettleers will head out to Eldridge Park in Orleans to face the Orleans Firebirds tomorrow. 1-1, change up high and away. Count to 2-1 on Stevenson. Ashton Parrott's first pitching appearance of the season came at YD. 2-1. Fastball misses low and away. Count to 3-1 on Andrew Stevenson. Parrott was away from the team for the past couple of days with his family. Stevenson skies it out of play to the left side over the third base grandstands. Count goes to full, 3-2. Parrott was a two-way player before he was released at the beginning of this month, was re-signed a couple of days later, and while he will still be a two-way player at school for Liberty, has been exclusively a pitcher. Payoff on the way, Stevenson ropes it down the right field line, but it goes foul. Count remains at 3-2. Scott Pickler giving some encouragement to his batter Stevenson as Pickler coaches third base. He wears number 13. Stevenson, the batter, wears number 14. Against YD, at YD back on June 21st, Parrott went 3 innings of 1-run ball, gave up 2 hits, walked nobody, and struck out 2. Time called, Stevenson steps out. Righty-lefty matchup, Hendricks in on the grass at third. Parrott sets and delivers the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Slider goes low and in on Stevenson. He strikes out for the second time today. 1 out for Vincent Jackson. Jackson steps in, 1 for 2, singled through the left side, back in the third. The left fielder from Tennessee. Tennessee, a pipeline school to this Yarmouth Dennis team. First pitch on the way to Vincent Jackson. Check swing. Foul down the first base side. Jake Fincher gives chase for it. Count to 0-1 on Jackson. Jackson also grounded out to Nick Eicholtz back in the first. YD got a run in the first on an RBI single by Hunter Cole after Andrew Stevenson walked and stole second. That's the only run that has been scored in this ballgame. Red Sox have 4 hits. Kettleers have 3. Parrott sets at the letters. Delivers the 0-1. Fastball. Hits the low outside paint. Count to 0-2. Parrott has been doing a great job of hitting the corners. His fastball has been pumping at 92 to 94. Very impressive. 0-2 on the way. Jackson, slow roller to the shortstop Taylor, picks it up on the dirt, fires across in time to get the hustling Vincent Jackson, who did not have his momentum stopped. He ran about halfway down the right field line. Applaud the effort from Vincent Jackson, but unfortunately running out towards the foul pole isn't going to do you anything after you get called out. 2 gone for Hunter Cole. Was very surprised by the lack of applause for Hunter Cole back in the first inning. His first game back at Lowell Park. 1 for 2 with an RBI. First pitch, breaking ball, misses low and away. Count to 1-0. Cole was here from day one. He had to leave the team after the third game of the series against Falmouth, the first round playoff series, because Georgia starts school second week of August. 1-0, Cole ropes it down third base side foul past third base coach and manager Scott Pickler. Count even at 1-1. But Hunter Cole, despite his struggles last year, was in the lineup pretty much every day for the Kettleers. And is somebody that I had imagined that the Kettleer faithful, at least many of them who come to games every summer, would have appreciated. 1-1, swing and a miss. Count to 1-2 on Hunter Cole. I talked with Cole back on June 21st at YD and said that he originally wanted to come back to Cotuit, but there were no space for him at the time. And his coaches at Georgia sent him to Scott Pickler and YD. 1-2, ring him up, strike 3 called. Cole strikes out looking, his second strikeout of the ball game. Red Sox go 1-2-3 in the 5th, led to the bottom half. 1-0 YD on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network and Comcast Channel 99 from Mashpee to Chatham and Channel 13 in Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
Jeremy Taylor leads it off for the Kettleers against Michael Murray. Murray has been fantastic so far. He's allowed 3 hits in 4 innings, no runs, 1 walk, and a hit by pitch of Ian Rice. But Murray goes back out for his 5th inning of work. Against the Kettleers this season, he has gone 4 innings of no earned runs. First pitch drag bunt by Jeremy Taylor goes foul. 0-1 the count on the DH from East Tennessee State. Jordan Ebert's father played baseball at East Tennessee State, where Jeremy Taylor plays his ball. So a very good connection there. 0-1 on the way. Chopped down the first base side, foul. Scooped up by Hunter Cole in foul ground. Murray ahead in the count of Jeremy Taylor, 0-2. Kettleers trying to get their 2nd win in a row and their 13th win of the year. Red Sox trying to get their 15th win of the season. Taylor pokes it in the left side, a base hit. An 0-2 fastball that gets left on the outside. And Jeremy Taylor has a base hit. Order turns over for John Norwood. Norwood 0 for 2. Grounded out. Back in the first to short. And struck out swinging with the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. Norwood, who goes by the nickname Dice because he's always rolling. Righty-righty matchup. Norwood stands in, hit a game-tying home run in the bottom of the 8th yesterday to knot it up at 2-2. First pitch curveball, taken for a strike on the low outside corner. 0-1. Norwood waggles the bat, slightly open stance. Small lead at first for Jeremy Taylor. He scoops off now more. Throw to first, back in time is Jeremy Taylor. No real contest there. Tarcevic even with the bag at third. Simcox and Romano deep at short and second. Cole holds on Jeremy Taylor. Murray in the stretch. 0-1 on the way. Pitch out. But Wharton doesn't fire down to first. Count even up at 1-1. Wharton's back flap is now once again tucked in his jersey. Pick to first. Taylor back safely. Jeremy Taylor has good speed, but he really hasn't had a chance to use it a whole lot. 2 for 3 in steals. Norwood swings at a 1-1, fouls it out of play to the right side. Count to 1-2. Jackson Klein stands on deck. Tying run at first in the form of Jeremy Taylor. He led off this inning with a single. Murray sets at the letters. Wharton sets to the outside. Delivery on the 1-2. Fastball misses low and away. Count even at 2-2. Murray does not wow you with his speed on his fastball. What he wows you with is the type of movement that he puts on every single pitch, including his changeup, which really dips down at the end of its rotation. 2-2. Norwood holds up on a curveball low and away. Count goes to full, 3-2. Time called, and John Norwood steps out. We'll have Trey Wingenter and Jackson McClellan down in the next half inning. Time called. You know what? What the heck? Let's just have him on now. We bring on Jackson McClellan, reliever from Pepperdine, and we'll have Jackson start after this delivery to John Norwood. Taylor going. Norwood hits it right to the shortstop. Simcox, he cannot tag out. Taylor at second in his throw to first, not in time. Yet to be ruled as to what that will be, but runners at first and second. That's ruled a hit. So Jackson, you come in yesterday, you pitch stellar through your 1+ innings of work. Coach Roberts says that you're at your best when you're staying on top of the ball. Do you think you were doing that yesterday?
Yeah, I was definitely on top of the ball because I was talking to Trace in between the innings, and he said the ball had a lot of late sink to it, so that means I'm definitely on top of it and staying behind the ball.
Now, you went from being a starter to being in the bullpen, but you're a guy who has starter stamina.
Yeah.
Has Coach Roberts told you when you're going to get back in the rotation?
No, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm already over 100 innings on the year, and this is the first time I've ever been through that many innings in a single season, so I think he's trying to work with me on getting my innings in, but not exactly, wearing my arm out too much before I go back to school. So
Brings up Jackson Glines. Glines shows bunt, pulls back. Fastball misses low and in for ball one. Glines on the ball game. 0 for 2, flew out to center and grounded out to second. But yesterday's performance, it seemed like it was one of the most complete performances of the season as Scott Pickler comes out to the mound, and that's going to do it for Michael Murray. Pitching changed John, but we'll keep it here. It's Jackson McClellan joins us here on the airwaves. Now, Jackson, had you not been up in the booth today, Luke Leftwich is available to throw, but we guaranteed your raffle ticket selling partner, Trey Wingenter, and Luke Leftwich to do play-by-play for a half inning. Do you think you could have stepped in and been able to do that?
no, I'm not much of a talker, so not really into the play-by-play thing.
Well, would you have been able to give some pretty good analysis?
Maybe. I can do analysis a little bit, but not, like I said, not much of a talker. More of a on the field kind of go about your business and stay quiet kind of guy.
Well, Scott Pickler did not end up yanking Michael Murray. Jackson Glines steps in. 1-0 the count on Glines. Taylor at second, Norwood at first. Go ahead, run on first. Glines shows bunt. Before Murray delivers his pitch, Murray steps off, and he looks Taylor back to second. What has been the number one thing that you want to leave this summer with? Having had a great season at Pepperdine, a long run in the College World Series, but what's your number one goal for the rest of the summer while you're here?
To be able to dominate with the off-speed stuff. That's the one thing that really cost me all season long was not having off-speed that I could throw in any count. So it's something I really need to get down while I'm here is being able to throw curveball, changeup, slider, whatever it is, in any count at any time.
1-0, misses inside, 2-0 on Jackson Glines. Well, Jackson, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
That's Jackson McClelland, relief pitcher for the Cotuit Kettleers, and we'll now bring Trey Wingenter on as Glines showing bunt again. Time called, and Glines will step out of the box. Well, now, you know what? Maybe we can do a nice little half inning. Hello over there, Kettleer fans. Welcome to Lowell Park. 2-0 count on the way to Jackson Glines. Greg Mraz alongside. That's not Brendan Glasheen. It's Trey Wingenter. Trey, what do you see here?
Oh, he's squaring a bunt, looking to get a bunt down here. No
Pick
outs.
to first, and Norwood just back in time. Quick move over there from Michael Murray.
Yeah, his move looked good. Let's see if we can get the bunt down here. Move some runners into scoring position and try to crack the scoreboard for the first time in the game.
He's not the best color man in the league for nothing, folks. What movie is that from, Trey? Do you remember?
Do I remember?
No. Glines gets the bunt down.
Beautiful bunt.
It's a good bunt,
He's going to beat it out. No throw.
and Tarcevic can't make a throw. Infield single for Jackson Glines. 3 hits in the inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Second time that Cotuit has had bases loaded with nobody out here in the ball game. Didn't execute the first time. What's it going to take here for Rhett Wiseman to execute?
I think he's just looking for a pitch he can probably lift into the outfield, try to get the job done here, score JT from third. Probably look for something elevated early, move the bat to the zone early, and try to get the job done here.
Now, Trey, yesterday we had you on in the booth after the ball game. 6 innings, 2 runs, only one of them earned. I mean, how good does it feel now that you're on an off day? How good is that, in retrospect, that start feel? First pitch to Rhett Wiseman. Check swing, appeal down to third. Murray wants an appeal down to third.
Yeah, he'll never get that call from
And the third base umpire, Jeff Merzel. Now, as a pitcher, it's got to be frustrating for you in the sense that with 3 umpires in comparison to 4, that you've got an umpire standing at second base. How can they see the appeal that well?
You can't. I mean, you can't see the appeal there. I'm not sure why they even asked that. I mean, the guy behind second has no better angle than the guy behind the home plate. It's the same thing. So
1-0 on the
really
way.
no reason
Wiseman
to
hits
get
in the
third.
right side of base hit. Jeremy Taylor comes home and scores. This game is tied at 1. Throw in from right field, right on the money. Everybody moves up a base and RBI single from Rhett Wiseman. 4 straight singles. This ball game tied at 1. How about that?
He got the job done. Got something he could drive, got it through the hole, score a run, ready to do some more damage here.
Brings up Jamison Fisher. Fisher on the ball game, 0 for 2. Now, what does a pitcher go through in these types of situations when you're in a bases loaded, nobody out jam? Like, does your mindset change at all? Do you like lock into a different mode, like extra concentration?
I mean, you try to be as concentrated as possible at all times, but in a situation like this, you know, if you look too much into it, you can get down. I mean, it's tough. Bases loaded, no outs. You know, tough to get out of a situation like this without giving up runs. But you really just got to lock in on this first guy. Try to make a pitch to get this hitter to do what you want him to do, which is preferably a ground ball anywhere if they're playing in, but to the corners or in the middle to, you know, trade 2 outs for a run in this situation.
First pitch taken by Jamison Fisher, a ball. 1-0 the count, and then takes a curveball. Low, 2-0 on Fisher. Norwood at third, the go-ahead run. Glines at second, Wiseman at first. This ball game tied at 1. Kettleers trying to win their second game in a row.
Not many guys I'd rather have up here than Fisher. Really been swinging the bat well all summer.
2-0. He may not get a chance to swing the bat here.
He may not.
3-0, and Fisher is in the catbird seat.
You have to think that if he happens to walk Fisher here, his day will be done.
Double-barreled action in the YD bullpen. 3-0 offering. Curveball, not even close. Fisher, an RBI walk. John Norwood trots home. 2-1, Kettleers lead. 5 straight base runners here in the 5th. Scott Pickler has to have a short lease. You know, I actually met today's starting pitcher, Michael Murray, at a Red Sox game on Thursday.
Really?
He was a pleasant individual.
That's interesting.
Yeah, where were you on Thursday?
Where was I on Thursday? Let me think here. Thursday, up early for camp, of course. It's always nice. And after camp, I may have came up to the field for a little while, and after that, I just kind of relaxed all day.
What'd you have for lunch?
Going on. What did I have for lunch?
Do you even remember at that point?
That was a great question. I feel like we might have had a little post-camp McDonald's.
Ooh.
Which is always great.
That is a favorite of our Director of Video Operations, Axel Bawada.
You never get enough of McDonald's.
Scott Pickler is motioning for the side armor, if there is a side armor. He's motioning for a left-hander. Michael Murray's day is done. Yep. It is a right-hander, and assume based on Pickler's motion, it's a submariner. 2-1, Kettleers lead. 2 runs here in this 5th inning. We'll keep it here with Trey Wingenter. So, Trey, I know we kind of seem to be going around in circles. We said yesterday that Luke Leftwich was going to hopefully come up and do an inning here, but Jackson McClelland, he even admits he's not much of a talker. But do you, I mean, who did you grow up as a broadcaster listening to or watching? And
you know, I don't know if I have one guy that I really really enjoy listening to. I just like to, listen to different guys, see how they approach, what they do, and I've always enjoyed just the insight that they can give from the booth.
So now we've got a new pitcher on here for the YD Red Sox. Now, normally, Zach Favre, I wonder if he's related to Brett. Probably not.
I'm going to doubt it.
He's from Central Florida. Now, normally how we do it in the broadcast booths, when a new pitcher comes on, the play-by-play guy says who's pitching, and the color guy, which is you right now, says his stats. So, the new pitcher on for the YD Red Sox is the side armor from Central Florida, number 30, Zach Favre.
Favre's he's logged 13 innings this summer so far with a 3.46 ERA. He's appeared in 7 games. He's sitting at, in his 13 innings, 8 strikeouts. This looks to be a guy who doesn't walk many, tries to pitch to contact and get his outs that way.
Isn't that how most pitchers try, if they're not strikeout guys, to pitch to contact and get your outs on ground balls?
Oh, of course. Even if you are, quote-unquote, a strikeout guy, you want to get early outs because, I mean, if you don't have to use 5 pitches to get a guy out, you can only use 1, then that's just it's beautiful.
Yes.
You don't have to. I mean, you can go later in the game. I mean,
that's what you
want.
did yesterday.
Rather
6
throw
innings.
6 pitches every inning than strike out everybody. You know.
Now, there was a stat. I don't know if you believe this or not, but White Sox play-by-play man Ed Farmer, who was a pitcher in the major leagues for many years, said that a starting pitcher should average around 12 and a half pitches per inning. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The goal is to have the lowest pitch count possible, keep the game moving at a good pace, and
first pitch to Jake Fincher, grounds it to Tarcevich, throws offline, tag it home, not in time. A bad throw from Jordan Tarcevich. Jackson Glines comes in. TJ Wharton tries to tag home plate, but he can't do it in time.
Throw just pulled him off too far up the line, and his diving attempt back wasn't enough to get Jackson Glines, who was on his horse, to home.
An error on Jordan Tarcevich at third. Glines scores. Everybody moves up a bag. It's now 3-1 Kettleers. And that brings up Brendan Hendricks.
There's just so much damage you can do if you get the bases loaded with no outs. It's just so tough from the defense and pitching side to get out of a jam like this without, some damage getting done.
First pitch, Brendan Hendricks fouls it back 0-1. I got to ask you about Brendan Hendricks from yesterday. How he even said he couldn't believe that he could hit a home run against a sidearmer lefty. That's got to be one of the hardest things for a left-handed hitter to do, to hit a sidearm lefty, because you don't see sidearm lefties. It's kind of like a 4-leaf clover.
Oh yeah, it's not something you see every day. So it's not something you practice against. It's not something you're used to seeing. So when you get up there, it's just kind of a whole new world at the plate. But man, he got all that ball. I don't know if it's landed yet.
0-1 on the way to Hendricks. Breaking ball misses low and away. Count even at 1-1. Have you ever found a 4-leaf clover?
If I ever found a 4-leaf.
Or as a consolation, have you ever had a Shamrock Shake from McDonald's? You brought up McDonald's a little bit earlier.
I actually have not. That's a seasonal thing, if I'm not mistaken. And I've never actually stopped by McDonald's and actually made the purchase of a Shamrock Shake.
1-1, chop foul towards the YD dugout. 1-2 the count on Brendan Hendricks. So YD actually, thank you to our stat man, Brendan Glasheen, and Axel Bolada, and everybody else in the booth, that YD got out of a bases-loaded jam in the second. Well,
right.
That hasn't been the case here.
No, this is more along the lines of what usually happens if you load the bases.
Swing and a miss. Dipping fastball.
With no outs.
Hendricks gone swinging. First out of the inning. It took 7 hitters to get the first out of this 5th inning. That brings up Logan Taylor, who's 1 for 2. Now, you have to imagine that if you're a reliever, now you've started and you have come in from the bullpen, but do you have to enter with a different mindset? I know I asked a question about pitching out of that mindset, but how difficult is it to come into a bases-loaded situation like Zach, don't call me Brett Favre is? First pitch, swing and a miss from Logan Taylor.
You got to try to keep the same mentality no matter what the situation is when you're pitching. I like to keep a closer mentality at all times. When a closer comes in, he's got 3 outs to get, and that's it. And that's what I try to focus on every time I come out, every inning, is to close out. Treat every inning like I'm closing out a game.
Taylor shows bunt, pulls back, count to 1-1. We've been talking about TJ Wharton in terms of his jersey has not stayed tucked in the entire game. Do you think that there is an art to dressing yourself in your uniform? Because a lot of guys, it seems like they wear baggy uniforms. Some guys wear tight uniforms. Any opinion on that?
In this situation, I think it just comes down to what, how your uniform fits you. I mean, what Bruce gives you, and that's it.
2-1 on the way to Logan Taylor. You know what? You handle the play-by-play for the rest of this at bat.
All right. Favre comes. Oh, he steps off the back of the mound. In still a large bit of trouble here with the bases loaded. Favre sets. Delivers a 2-1 pitch and changeup down the middle for a strike. Brings the count to 2-2 for Logan Taylor. Taylor's really been stroking the ball all summer.
Darn right he has. He can mash.
It seems like every time he hits it, it's a missile. And a 2-2 pitch. Fastball below the knees at 91. That'll be ball 3. Pushes the count full.
You know, we do highlights after every game, and usually when runs are scored or big plays, so if a run gets scored, you could have one of your calls on the highlights here.
That'd be kind of nice. And the 3-2 pitch is up, popped up straight up behind second. Center fielder crashing in, calls off Simcox at short and makes the play. Fincher, they throw is home, and Wiseman heads back to third. It'll be 2 down.
That was probably a smart play by Jake Fincher at third to hold up because...
Actually, it was Wiseman at third.
It is Wiseman at third. I kind of lost track
No,
as
I thought
well.
it was Fincher at first, too. That's
they're both fast. But
true. Indeed they are.
Do you want another batter? Do you want to call your college teammate, Jordan Ebert, stepping to the plate?
Yeah, I can take this one.
All right.
Ebert steps in the plate, does his typical toe tap right outside the right-handed batter's box. He's gonna hold that bat pointed towards the pitcher until he comes set. Favre comes set and delivers. Inside pitch. Ebert blasted deep. It's back. It's back. It's a grand salami, baby. Whoa, Eagle. Hey. What a debut from the man himself. Ebert with the cam swipe at home. Getting love from the teammates. Welcome to the show, my friend and teammate.
7-1. Wow, I actually can't believe that just happened.
That's
The first
pretty funny, huh?
grand slam that the Kettleers have hit all year, and it wasn't called by any of the broadcasters.
Hey, I can stay up here all you want. The man can hit.
You want to take Jeremy Taylor too?
I'll take him. And back to the windup is Favre, here to face Jeremy Taylor, who calls time, resets. And the 0-0 pitch. Change up outside. 4 ball.
Now, did you know that Jordan Ebert's dad played baseball at Jeremy Taylor's institution, East Tennessee State?
I did, actually. I spent a lot of time with Mr. Ebert. And the 1-0 pitch. Fast. Oh, another change up. Gets JT swinging over the top of it at 76 miles an hour. 1-1 count. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Mr. Mike Ebert. He comes down to Auburn from time to time, spends some time with me and my roommates. The 1-1 pitch. Taylor with the drag bunt, drops it in. Fielded by Favre to the mound. The throw is in time, dug out of the dirt. Oh, no, he called him safe. He pulled off the bag. Actually dropped the ball. Looks like Taylor may have stepped on his foot on accident. And that was enough to knock the ball loose.
Now I got to ask you, Trey, where does the word tater come from for home run? Is it like a potater?
I have no idea.
No idea?
I just say it, really.
Well,
I have no clue where that comes from, but I love it. I use it frequently.
all right, Dice is coming to the plate. I think you're on a roll, just like Dice Norwood. 'cause
Dice
he's
Norwood.
rolling. So you know what? Kettleers have scored 7 runs since you have come on the broadcast. So keep going, Trey.
I'm not sure I can take all the credit, but there's an 88-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike 1 against Mr. John Dice Norwood. And Favre sets. Delivers the 0-1 to the plate. Another fastball. This one misses low and in. Pushes the count to 1-1.
Now, do you ever give any of the Vanderbilt guys a little business about Auburn versus Vanderbilt football? Obviously, they're the national champions in...
And JT takes off on the pitch. Norwood hits a screamer to short. Simcox throws over to Cole for out number 3. What an inning, though, by the Kettleers.
7 runs scored in the 5th inning, and I'd like to thank the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Trey Wingenter, for coming on. When Luke comes up the next time, we'll make sure to have you on
Absolutely.
for a full inning, and you guys will run this show. So, Trey, thank you very much. And, hey,
Absolutely. I
guess
enjoyed
what?
it.
That grand slam, that's going in the highlights, baby.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be listening for it.
7 runs scored in the 5th inning. Thank you so much to Jackson McClelland and Trey Wingenter for coming on. We're through 5. Brendan Glasheen's had a long break. He's coming back. 7-1 Kettleers. We'll be back after this.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers.
Welcome back to Lowell Park, a 7-run fifth inning for the Kettleers to take a 7-1 lead on the YD Red Sox. Greg Mraz and Brendan Glasheen on the airwaves with you, Kettleer fans. You just heard from Trey Wingenter, last half inning, potentially stealing one of our jobs at some point down the road. The 1-0 hit over to short. Taylor nonchalantly backs up on it, throw to first in time to retire Jordan Tarsevich for out number 1 in the 6th.
This would be a great trivia question if we said this at the end of the year. Which broadcaster called the first Kettleers Grand Slam of the season? The answer, you'd only be given 2 options normally, but Trey Wingenter, what a call!
Pinch hitter steps to the plate for Rob Fonseca. Derek Atkinson of San Francisco, teammates with Brendan Hendricks. He only has 1 at bat on the season, a new addition to the YD roster. So Scott Pickler goes to the pinch hitter, but the momentum in this game has completely shifted. And you look back at Nick Geitholtz, who started the game, went the first 3 innings. Ashton Parrott on for his 3rd inning of work. He's worked 2 scoreless innings. He has struck out 2. Has 1 out in the 6th. The fastball at 92, low and away to the left-handed hitting Atkinson, 0-1. But I have to agree, Trey Wingenter, a tremendous Grand Slam call. Not only that, for his teammate, the new guy, Jordan Ebert. First pitch of the at-bat, and you offered it to him, and he took full advantage. 0-1 the count. Hendricks in on the grass at 3rd base, 0-1 pitch. Fastball again at 93, tails away from Jamison Fisher, 1-1.
I just love Jackson McClellan just standing right behind him, just playing it cool, just being like, all right, Trey, I'm going to let you do your thing.
1-1 to Atkinson, popped up between the middle infielders. Ebert over to make the catch. No problem, to the right of the second base bag. 2 quick outs for Ashton Parrott. He's done a nice job in relief thus far. He has retired every batter he's faced, dating back to the 4th inning against Ramsey Romano.
If we have a chance to have him on, Ebert, as our star Kettleer after the game on the Kettleers Insider post game.
Change up at 75 in the dirt, rolls towards the on-deck circle for YD. 1 ball, no strikes to TJ Horton.
What do you think he's going to say when we tell him that his Grand Slam was called by his teammate?
Pretty cool stuff. 1-0 pitch. Horton takes it on the outside corner, and as noted nicely by one of our staff writers, Matt Schneidman, also his roommate at Auburn. 1-1 pitch. Slice to the right. Loops its way out of play towards the trees. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Horton. So this was also something Mike Roberts brought up in the Roberts Report today. How the Kettleers can handle their middle relief innings. Well, McClellan, who was up with us earlier, has hopefully found his role well in that position, as Horton asked for time from home plate umpire Tom Major. And now Ashton Parrott, who definitely pitched well against Harwich, last Wednesday, his a second straight good outing. 1-2 slice to the right side, no play for Fincher at first. It's in for a base hit. Wiseman fields it to the left of his left shoe top. So a two-out single for Wharton brings up H.A. Simcox.
But in all seriousness, I mean, the complexion of this game has done a complete 180. I mean, Michael Murray, and I think it's so funny that the Kettleers got nothing after loading the bases with no outs in the second. Hardly ever can you do that twice, load the bases of the pitching staff, and get away with it twice. That just doesn't happen.
First pitch, a long shot to left. Norwood back. He makes the catch over the shoulder to retire the side. Ashton Parrott has been dominant in 3 2/3 innings pitched. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth at Lowell Park. 7-1 Kettleers on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. The Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years.
Back at Lowell Park, Zach Favre returns to the mound to face Jackson Glines. First pitch fastball that tails away from the left-handed hitter from Michigan. The Kettleers offensively played at 7 in the bottom of the 5th. A Jordan Ebert grand slam highlights the big inning. A 2-0 pitch missing on the outside corner. Glines today, 1 for 3. Singleton scored in the 5th. Grounded to second in the 3rd, flew to center in the 1st. 2-0 pitch from Favre. Change up, tails low and in. 3 balls, no strikes. Trey Wingenter was on the broadcast with us last inning and announced his teammates' home run call. Fastball on the inside corner, just below the thighs of Glines, 3-1.
That's so cool. I mean, I just can't get over how awesome that is, that Trey Wingenter, in his moment of broadcasting.
3-1 pitch. Glines takes the fastball away, ball 4. A leadoff base runner to start the bottom of the 6th for the Kettleers. The score 7-1 Cotuit. 8 hits, 7 runs for the Kettleers. 5 hits, 1 run for YD. Red Sox with 2 errors, Kettleers with 1. But he gets the first grand slam call of this season. And it doesn't come from either of us. Funny.
That's awesome, though. I mean, and the enthusiasm he had on it was just incredible.
A shot to right field, but ropes foul by Rhett Wiseman. Rhett 2 for 3, walked in the 1st, singled and reached second base in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 5th. But it actually worked out great because you had started the inning doing the play-by-play. Wiseman awaits the first pitch of the at-bat. Actually, second pitch. Slice to the left side. Vincent Jackson a few steps back. Makes the catch just in front of his face for out number one. Glinds back to first. But you kind of started the inning, got Trey involved with the broadcast, and then you nonchalantly turned it over to him. And then it became a point where Jordan Ebert comes to the plate, tonight batting eighth for the Kettleers, and you just said, hey, Trey, you want to call your teammates at bat? And the first pitch, Trey goes nuts, and it worked out great. First pitch, change up, low and away to the left-handed hitter, Jamison Fisher. Fisher also scored in the fifth inning. 7 Kettleers able to score, walked in that at-bat. 1-0 pitch. Another change-up, dips too low and misses away. 2 balls, no strikes.
I let him call Logan Taylor's at-bat, and then I figured, you know what, he might want to call his teammates. And you know what? Because he'd have a special affection for him.
2-0, slice to the right, picked up by Romano on the ground, a second for one. Simcox throw to first in time, double play. 4-6-3 to end the sixth at Lowell Park. 7-1 Kettleers on the YD Red Sox. Kettleers baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Barnstable-Mashpee, Channel 99, and Channel 13 Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees.
Top of the seventh, back at Lowell Park, 7-1 Kettleers. The cloud cover all over Lowell Park. Ashton Parrott back in to pitch for Cotuit. First pitch fastball, misses low at 91, dropped by Fisher. Nonetheless, 1 ball, no strikes. Ashton Parrott has pitched 3 innings tonight. Has allowed 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Sliced on the ground to the right side. Fincher picks it up just by his chest. Flips to Parrott covering for the out, score it 3-1. Now, of the 11 batters Parrott's faced, he's retired 10 of those first 11. He's been dominant since checking into the game.
We've talked about what the Kettleers did offensively in that 5th inning, but, I mean, Ashton Parrott, my goodness, he comes in immediately. The first batter he comes in and faces, he gets A.J. Simcox to get caught stealing.
Fastball, knee-high, on the inside corner to the left-handed hitting Brendan Lund. Lund today 0 for 2, reached an error in the second, grounded to third base in the 4th. Parrott to the set at the chest, the 0-1. Curveball cuts across home plate but misses low. 1-1. He checked into the game to face Ramsey Romano in the top of the 4th, retired 5 straight, and that allowed the Kettleers to come to the plate with an opportunity, just down 1-0. Foul ball outside into the parking lot. It's 1-2.
Ashton Parrott has been reinvigorated since his one-day release from the ball club. He was signed the next day. He's no longer a two-way guy. Mike Roberts has made it clear, based on his role in the last 2 weeks, he's a pitcher.
Breaking ball misses away, 2-2. His last game in which he hit was at Hyannis on June 27th. He went 0 for 3 with a run scored. 2-2. Fastball sliced to the left side. Norwood gives it a long run, but it falls foul just by the Kettleers bullpen. We'll see the 2-2 again. 1 out, 7th inning. The Kettleers lead 7-1. They're up 2 field goals on the YD Red Sox. Third meeting this season, the Kettleers won their first game of 2014 against YD 2-1. Lost their second game against this ball club on June 21st at Red Wilson Field 9-1. Another slicer to the left. It goes out of play. Just look at Parrott's last 2 relief appearances. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 7 1/3 innings pitched. 2 innings logged against Harwich on July 6th in the 5-5 tie. At Harwich July 9th, 2 scoreless, struck out 4. Today, 3 1/3 logged. Another foul ball into the dugout. 2-2.
And looking over to the right, Peter Jackson, the father of Drew Jackson, is about to take a picture in front of, right next to where his son is, on the championship banner.
That's pretty cool. 2-2 pitch. A blooper to center field. In comes Glines. Troops in, makes the catch. With one hand, 2 down. Parrott, 11 of 12 retired to start his relief stint.
There's an interesting rule, actually. It's not a rule in the Cape League, but Parrott is technically a two-way guy. In the Northwoods League, which is another very prestigious college baseball league, there was a rule made 2 years ago that two-way players count for 2 roster spots. So that's why the majority of guys who are two-way players who want to come and play baseball will come to the Cape, because in the Northwoods League, if you're a two-way player, if you want to play both ways, you take up 2 roster spots.
Andrew Stevenson, the leadoff man, steps to the plate for his 4th at-bat of today. Fastball misses inside. Check that, a pinch hitter. Joey Armstrong, third baseman from Nevada. 0-1. Armstrong takes it inside. It's 75. Another bender from Parrott. It's 0-2. Parrott on the verge of logging yet another half inning of work. He's been awfully good for the Kettleers. 0-2. Armstrong moves it to the right, out of play. 0-2 the count holds. Three 2/3 in the books. He's allowed just 1 hit and has struck out 2. Infield straight away. Brendan Hendricks even with the bag down the third base line. Parrott to the set at the letters, the 0-2. It knocks Armstrong off the shoulder. One of very few blemishes today from Ashton Parrott.
One of the best Twitter handles out there, I'm a Parrot. He makes it clear that he takes the pun very lightly in his last name.
So a 2-out base runner for YD. Vincent Jackson, the batter. First pitch fastball, clocked in at 91. Knee high, outside corner, no balls, 1 strike on Jackson. Today he's 1 for 3. 2 ground outs in the first and 5th innings, singled back in the 3rd. Parrott stares in, comes to the set, delivers the 0-1. Another fastball, dips into the dirt, 1-1.
The Kettleers better get used to facing Eastern Division opponents, including today. 7 of the next 8 games that the Kettleers face are against the Eastern Division. The lone one that is not this upcoming Thursday at home against the Falmouth Commodores.
1-1, change up, called a strike. by Major, the home plate umpire. 1-2, 2 outs. Stevenson at first after being hit by a pitch. Ashton Parrott tries to lock down and record this final out. Left-hander warming in the Kettleers bullpen. 1-2. Jackson just gets a piece, snubs it to the backstop. Looks like it's Travis Duke loosening for the Kettleers. Some mop-up work in a blowout situation. It was not a blowout this entire game, folks. A 1-0 YD lead into the fifth until the Kettleers scored 7. That's where the score is now. Jackson, a blooper to left center. Taylor backs up on it, flares the glove and dives, but can't make the play, a base hit. Stevenson to second, Jackson on with his second hit. First and second, 2 outs for Hunter Cole.
Not to completely change the topic here, but there are storm-looking like clouds coming in over left field. Forecast said there were thunderstorms for tonight, and they better hope that they hold off for at least another hour, or else this game could end early.
Mike Roberts now trots out to the pitcher's mound to speak with Parrott. I wonder if Ashton Parrott can make Mike Roberts repeat his words, or if Mike Roberts can say something to Ashton and then he can just repeat it. So maybe instead of repeating it with his words, he can repeat it with his pitching.
So like a parrot would that is talking. You know, it's actually really funny. Back home, there's actually a parrot that sits outside of a yard. And one time, I was on a phone call, and right in front of the house. And I remember saying I was on the phone with my dad, and I said, "Bye, Dad." And I hung up the phone, and all of a sudden I hear, "Bye, Dad." And it's the parrot. So, you know, if Mike Roberts tells Ashton Parrott to throw nasty strikes that Hunter Cole can't hit, then Ashton Parrott, if he is a true parrot, will throw nasty strikes that Hunter Cole can't hit.
First and second, 2 outs. The hottest hitter for YD, a shot to right. A long run for Wiseman down the right field line, makes the catch in front of the fence. Parrott receives the mound visit from Coach Roberts and shuts the door. We'll go to the home half of the 7th. Stretch time at Lowell Park. 7-1 Kettleers on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Barnstable Mashpee, Channel 99 and Channel 13 Sandwich.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association wanted to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
Welcome back here to Lowell Park. It's now time for our Coca-Cola of Cape Cod scoreboard update. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Jake Fincher leads off the last of the seventh. First pitch pass ball up and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
There's really not a whole lot going on. Top of the fourth at Doran Park and Bourne. Brewster and Bourne tied up at 1.
1-0. Changeup gets away from Favre. 2 balls, no strikes.
Top of the fifth at McKeon Park and Hyannis. Wareham and Hyannis tied at 1. Bottom of the first at Veterans Field, Falmouth and Chatham, no score. And bottom of the first at Eldridge Park, Harwich and Orleans.
Fincher sits back and looks at a fastball at 86, 2-1 count on the member of the NC State Wolfpack. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fincher today 0 for 2, struck out looking in the third, reaching an error in the fifth, but scored. 2-0, Fincher a high chopper in the dirt. Favre picks it up down the first baseline. He tags Fincher on his left side to record the first out. So score it 1 unassisted to get Fincher to start the seventh. Couple of defensive changes for the YD Red Sox. Josh Lester over at third base. Joey Armstrong now in center. And Nico Giarratano is the new shortstop. Favre remains in the game as the reliever. First pitch, a change-up, cuts across to hit the outside corner for a strike to Brendan Hendricks. 0-1. Favre holds the glove out in front, changes his hand grip into the windup. 0-1. Change up low and away.
The Kettleers will play 4 of their next 5 on the road, and we'll get you that schedule update after this.
1-1 to Hendricks. Change up, pulls him off the plate. Takes it though, 2-1.
Tomorrow at Eldridge Park in Orleans, a 7 p.m. start, 6:40 Kettleers warm-up. An off day on Tuesday, Fenway workout day.
2-1. Hendricks slices it to the right side. Picked up, but now it's booted by Hunter Cole at first, covering Favre, but not in time to throw. So Hendricks reaches first safely. That's error number 3 on the YD Red Sox today.
At Brewster, after the off day on Wednesday, home against Falmouth on Thursday, then at Red Wilson Field to face these YD Red Sox on Friday, and then back to White House Field in Harwich to face the Harwich Mariners on Saturday.
A whole lot of Eastern Division road tripping coming up for the Kettleers media team. Greg Mraz currently driving a Nissan rental car. Matt Schneidman driving the Lexus with Connecticut license plates. Change up, misses low and in. So that's our transportation for the next couple of days.
I want my car back. I miss my car. I miss my red Subaru.
You know, you should talk to Jamison Fisher and maybe work out a deal. Since you helped him jump his truck, why don't you take the truck to one of the games? 1-0, Taylor nabs it off his right foot, foul. 1-1, 1 out. 7th inning, Hendricks at first base. A 7-1 Kettleers lead.
To get a little bit more serious here for a moment, the Kettleers pitching staff has given up only 3 runs, only 2 earned runs in their last 16 innings.
1-1, dribbled out in front, it goes foul. That doesn't answer my question, though, about how we're going to get to these games.
Well, I mean, I still have the rental car until I get my car back, so, I mean, we can still take the rental. I just need to put more gas in it.
Light them up, gas them up, whatever you have to do.
Taking more liberty to make fun of my home run call.
The 1-2 as Taylor dribbles it foul. I should get this off my chest now. We talked about this in the broadcast yesterday. Greg Mraz had called 7 straight home runs in Kettleers games. So whether it was the opponent or the Kettleers, it didn't matter. I got the final 2 home runs from John Norwood in Brendan Hendricks. The 1-2 to Taylor. Down the third baseline. It remains fair. Lester picks it up. Throw across the diamond in time to get Logan Taylor. Nice play by Lester down the third base line. So now there's 2 down for Jordan Ebert. And then today, speaking of Ebert, not 1, not 2 play-by-play broadcasters, but we have a third play-by-play broadcaster that calls the only home run of today. And now Taylor is taking off his shin guard. He's going to stay at first base. He thinks he's got a chance to stay safe. Now the umpires are discussing.
Time is ticking, though. About 40 minutes of light left. And one thing we haven't brought up, the Kettleers have had 2 consecutive home games that have actually finished. Now, you don't want to end that streak.
Now Scott Pickler comes out to speak with home plate umpire Tom Major. So now Taylor's safe at first. Hendricks moves up to second base.
Does a call in a 7-1 ball game matter that much when you're up by 6 runs? Maybe. You never know.
I mean, you have a manager that's in his 14th year on the right side and a manager in his 11th year on the left side. These guys have seen a lot go down, but like you said, we're running out of light. It's the 7th inning, and it's a 6-run game.
Scott Pickler, if anybody, should know, considering he plays at one of the other 2 ballparks in the Cape League that does not have lights. Well, there are currently 4 that don't have lights, with the continuing power failures at Arnie Allen Diamond in Falmouth.
Jordan Ebert steps to the plate. A grand salami back in the 5th. The home run call courtesy of his teammate at Auburn, Trey Wingenter. First pitch, low and away. That's the other thing. The home run came on the first pitch. I was awfully impressed how Trey was able to keep his composure in that situation. Because sometimes you need a few pitches to get used to it. And I knew Trey was probably going to go off about how he was roommates with them, things along those lines. The 1-0, hit through the hole, a base hit. Hendricks waved around by Roberts. Jackson's throw to the plate, not in time, as Wharton catches it in the air just in front of home plate. Hendricks scores. Kettleers lead 8-1. An RBI single for Ebert. RBI number 5 in his debut.
5 RBIs in one game.
Your first game. That's something.
Now, the most unique story, and I don't know what game it exactly was, but Brewster Whitecap catcher Wade Wass hit 2 grand slams, drove in 9 runs. I mean, think about it. 9 runs in one game. It's the last game he plays. He goes off and signs a minor league deal with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
And if I'm correct, that was against these YD Red Sox. So they are no team that has not seen power outages by the opposing club. Curveball dips north to south, low and in to Jeremy Taylor. Taylor 1 for 2. Rather, 1 for 3. One-0 pitch, dribbled on the dirt, rolls towards Brian Bamanek, the first base coach for the Kettleers, down the first base line.
You know, I've just been thinking. You know, John Madden, for many years, he had a huge obsession with Brett Favre. If we told him that Zach Favre was a descendant of Brett Favre, we don't know that for sure, what do you think John Madden would do?
1-1, tails away. I don't know. Propose to make a new Wrangler commercial? I'm not sure.
Well, Frank Caliendo always used to make fun of how a comedian can be found in Las Vegas made fun of how basically John Madden was in love. Like, literally in love. Like, will you marry me with Brett Favre?
2-1, Taylor shoots it on the ground to the right side by the chain link fence. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom 7. 8-1, Kettleers, 10 hits today for this offense. Jordan Ebert with 2 of them and 5 RBIs in his Kettleers debut. Zach Favre, the pitcher. 2-2. Taylor sends it to left center. It falls in for a hit in front of Armstrong. Here comes Logan Taylor. He's in to score. 9-1. Taylor up to second on the throw towards home. An RBI base hit for the left fielder from East Tennessee State.
And Scott Pickler comes out to the mound. Zach Favre throws pitches, but the equivalent of an interception thrown here today. The Kettleers have run it back for a touchdown, and they've also sacked him in the end zone for his safety. That makes 9.
That's not all on the fault of Zach Favre, though. Michael Murray went the first 4 innings, allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, walked 2, struck out 2. Favre thus far, 2 1/3, has allowed 4 runs, has walked 1, and struck out 1. So, technically, he's allowed 2 sacks.
But boom! We have a new pitcher.
Pickler turns to a new arm. We'll have who it is after this on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years.
We're back here at Lowell Park. Pitching change on hand. John Norwood comes to the plate as Ebert at third, Taylor at second. New pitcher, Josh Pierce for the YD Red Sox. First pitch swinging by Norwood. It goes off his left foot and rolls towards the YD on-deck circle, 0-1.
Josh Pierce from Kent State, a 1-1 record, a 3.24 ERA, 8 games pitched, 8 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts.
9th game out of the pen for Scott Pickler as he comes to the set at the belt, the 0-1. Norwood shoots it to the right. Behind the backstop foul, 0-2.
Now, John Norwood's nickname is Dice, so what if we started using other casino-type items for nicknames? Like, we could have Jackson Glines be Jackson Poker Chips Glines, or something like that.
Maybe Norwood will stop at Mohegan Sun after the Fenway workout on Tuesday. 0-2. Change up, misses low and in.
I got a good one.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Trey Wingenter can be cards, because he's always dealing.
Ah. I see. Second and third. 1 out in the 7th inning. 9-1 Kettleers. Pierce steps off. Big righty from Kent State. Comes to the set at the belt. 1-2 pitch. Tails away at 92 miles per hour. 2-2 to Norwood. John, at the plate today, has been very quiet. 0 for 3. A performance in which the Kettleers, 0 for 4 rather, Norwood shoots it on the ground towards first. Another bobble by Cole. The flip to first gets away. Ebert scores. Taylor holds it third. 10-1 Katuitt. That's the 5th YD error today. Been a rough day over there at first for Hunter Cole.
Hunter Cole, though, to his defense, I mean, this is a guy that's played outfield his whole life and was converted to a third baseman this year. And out of necessity, YD has had him play first. I mean, people talk about playing first as an easy position. Well, it really isn't, because there are so many different things that you have to be able to do over at first.
First pitch swinging by Glines. It's into the backstop foul. 0-1. Jackson Glines, 1 for 3. A 7-run 5th, a 3-run 7th has allowed the Kettleers to jump on a 10-1 cushion. Jackson loops it to the left foul. 0-2.
But Hunter Cole, though, to his defense, I mean, this has gotten to a point where this game is dragged on for so long that it's hard to keep your concentration.
Pierce stares in for his sign from Wharton. Now Glines asks for time, takes a practice swing. On the right side of the left-handed batting box. Now Pierce ready at the belt. 0-2 pitch. Low in the dirt at 87. No threat to swing. A waste pitch there. Line still ahead 1-2. 1 out, 7th inning. Taylor at third, Norwood at first. 1-2 pitch. Glines shoots it to the gap in right center. It's a base hit. Armstrong on the run as it rolls to the wall. Taylor scores easily. Norwood's trotting around. No throw to the plate. 2 more in. It's 12-1 Katuitt. This team is 4 shy of the most runs they've scored all year. That was back on Monday a few weeks ago at Doran Park against the Bourne Braves. 13 hits, 12 runs, Glines a double, standing and leading at second base.
You know what the most fascinating thing about this is? Is that the Kettleers have scored 12 runs in only 2 innings. The 5th and this one, the 7th.
Fastball inside, 1-0 to Wiseman.
7 in the 5th, 5 in the 7th. I think that's funny how the numbers get flipped around like that, but still, 2 innings of 5+ runs.
These are the types of days that make your ball club feel very good. The 1-0 inside, it gets to the backstop. Now Glines will trot for third. A 7-run 5th, as Greg just said. And as of right now, with 1 out, a 5-run 7th inning. Two-0 count on Rhett Wiseman. 2 for 3 in the game. He delivers the 2-0. Wiseman pops it up in the infield. Josh Lester makes the call and catches it by his left side for the out. 2 down.
The first out of the inning was made by Jake Fincher, who's hitting 5th in the order. Rhett Wiseman makes the second out. He's the 8th guy to come to the plate. 7 consecutive Kettleers reach base, and 5 of them have scored.
Jamison Fisher, 0 for 3, has walked and scored one of the 7 runs in the 5th. It's a 1-0 count. First pitch misses low and in. Price lets the glove lean on his thigh. Glines at third base. Pitch. Low and in. 2-0. Check that 1-1. Fastball misses away. 2 balls, 1 strike on Jamison Fisher. A lot of runs for Katuitt. Looked like a rough day coming because of Eichholz going only 3 innings. 2-1, a chopper on the ground towards Cole at first, but now it rolls its way foul closer to the YD dugout. Ike Colts went the first 3, allowed 4 hits, 1 run. He walked 2 and struck out 4. The game stayed close. Ashton Parrott came in the 4th, recorded 2 shutdown innings, 2-2 in the dirt. It gets by Wharton, and Glines comes in to score the 13th run. A 12-run lead for the Kettleers, 13-1. And this is a proper way for this club to respond. They lost 9-1 at Red Wilson Field back on June 21st. And you mentioned today, before the ball game, the Kettleers had yet to score an earned run against this YD club. Well, that's changed based on today's game.
Although a lot of the runs, and we can't exactly calculate until after the ball game, many of these 13 runs are going to be considered unearned, as our official scorer Steve will have an update for us between the half inning.
3-2, Fisher nubs it to the left side, through the hole. A single for Jamison. His first hit today. He's 1 for 4. Kettleers have batted around for the second time tonight.
The first time they did it, they sent 11 to the plate in the 5th. And now they'll send their 10th man in Jake Fincher.
2 outs in the 7th. It's 7:36 here at Lowell Park. First pitch fastball at 86, misses away. I'd have to imagine the umpires will discuss after this half inning that possibly YD's at bat in the 8th might be the last of today. 1-0. Fincher swings through it. Pierce able to wind up there and throw it 5 miles per hour higher at 91, 1-1.
That honestly wouldn't be the worst thing for Yarmouth, Dennis, and I'll make this argument why. Saving your pitching.
Right. Makes sense. 1-1. Fincher chops it to the left foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It would also help Katuitt. Travis Duke more than likely is going to come on and pitch the top of the 8th, but if you only have to have him go 1, then basically your only arms that aren't available to pitch tomorrow are Trey Wingate, who obviously started today, Ashton Parrott, and Nick Eichholz.
1-2 to Fincher. Change up, sweeps away. 2-2. The Kettleers are at Eldridge Park for the first time this season. Game tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Orleans. Kettleers warm-up starts at 6:40. 2-2 pitch. Fincher takes the fastball outside. Strike 3 called. Finally, the 7th comes to an end. A 7-run 5th, a scoreless 5th inning, and then a 6-run 7th has given the Kettleers a blowout advantage on the YD Red Sox. We'll go to the 8th at Lowell Park. 13-1. Katuitt on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College. Located in Milton, Massachusetts, it offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College. Located in Milton, Massachusetts, it offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
Josh Lester leads it off 13-1. Kettleers lead. New pitcher on from Texas. Is the lefty Travis Duke.
Travis Duke makes his fourth appearance of the season. An ERA of 10.80. 5 innings pitched, has allowed 9 hits, 6 runs. All of them earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 1.
Josh Lester is first at bat, the new third baseman from Missouri. First pitch, fastball taken for a strike, 0-1. Ashton Parrott, 4 scoreless innings in relief of Nick Eichholz. 0-1 on the way from Duke. Fastball at the knees, taken for a strike, 0-2. Lester hitting .271 on the season, 16 hits and 59 at-bats. Duke stares in for the sign from Jamison Fisher. Sets in the stretch, stares in, delivers the 0-2. Fastball misses low and away at 84, 1-2 the count. Travis Duke, a guy that, based on my conversations with him, he would also be a great play-by-play partner with Trey Wingenter. Bring him up, strike 3 called, curveball in the outside corner. Lester not happy, but hey, I wouldn't be happy too if I were losing by 12 runs. Lester walks back to the dugout. That brings up Derek Atkinson, who pinch hit back in the 6th for Rob Fonseca.
You know, when we were in Harwich last Wednesday, both of those players were discussing how if you ever had us on, they would dominate, meaning Duke and Wingenter. Wingenter's always in the mix, it seems.
Check swing, first pitch to Atkinson. Taking for a strike, 0-1. Atkinson popped out to Jordan Ebert back in the 6th. They were also jamming to the Harwich playlist, which in my opinion is the best in the league. Sliced out of the play to the left side. 0-2 the count on Atkinson. Atkinson from USF, playing in his second game. He had 1 at bat. Time called, Atkinson steps out. .2 on the way. Nubbed up the middle. Charging. Logan Taylor on the run in time to grab Derek Atkinson. This was not our official trivia question of the night, but it's a good one. Hunter Cole went from playing with the Kentuit Kettleers in 2013 to the Whitey Red Sox in 2014. Who was the last player to go from playing from the Whitey Red Sox to the Kentuit Kettleers in 2 consecutive years? The answer is Danny DeKroger. Danny DeKroger, who spent all of last season with the Kentuit Kettleers, played the last part of the year in 2012 with the Whitey Red Sox. First pitch to T.J. Wharton. Hits the outside paint, 0-1 the count. On the catcher from Catawba College. 2 ground outs and a single. Breaking ball. Taken to the knees, a strike, 0-2. I should have thought of that trivia question earlier. It's actually a pretty good one. Duke sets, delivers the 0-2. Fouled back to the screen, ricochets off of a pipe into the Kettleer dugout. Count remains 0-2. Duke stares in. Gets the sign. Hendricks in on the grass at third. 0-2, ring him up, strike three called. Travis Duke gets 2 strikeouts in 3 hitters. The Whitey Red Sox will take the field. No determination yet as to whether this game will continue. And this game's going to keep going. Head to the bottom half of the 8th. 13-1, Kettleers lead. Keep it locked right here.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years.
Oh, it's a 13-1 baseball game, and we have a new pitcher. It's the right-hander from Louisiana State, number 41, Parker Bug.
Parker Bug of Louisiana State, 1-0, 6.75 ERA. 7 games pitched, no starts. He's got no saves. 10 2/3 innings pitched.
First pitch, fouled out of play by Brandon Hendricks. 0-1 the count on the Kettleer third baseman from the University of San Francisco. Parker Bug delivers the 0-1, taking for a strike on the outside corner. It's now 0-2. Brandon Hendricks had a single in the second, a line out in the fourth, a strikeout in the fifth, reached down an error in the fifth, in the seventh, and scored. 0-2 dribbled on the ground. Lester picks it up at third, fires across, not in time to get Brandon Hendricks. That will be an infield single for Brendan Hendricks. It brings up Logan Taylor. A musical start to our bottom of the 8th inning. Apologies to anybody who did not like me or Brendan singing. 13-1, trying to keep it loose. Here's Logan Taylor. 2 for 4. A single and a run scored in the 6-run 7th. Curveball misses low and away. Count to 1-0 to Logan Taylor. Taylor waggles the bat. Hendricks leads at first. Bug sets. Delivers the 1-0. Curveball misses low and away. Count to 2-0 on Logan Taylor. Taylor, the shortstop from Texas A&M, from Deer Park, Texas. 2-0, fastball hits the outer corner. 2-1 the count. Bug sets, delivers a 2-1. Taylor fouls it back to the screen. Count even up at 2-2.
I'm all gassed out from that singing.
You know, sometimes you just need to keep it a little musical. Keeps you on your toes.
Who sings the national anthem before every game?
Nikki Chevalier.
We should have her up here.
2-2 on the way. Curveball in the dirt. Now 3-2. Brendan Hendricks a slight lead from first. What if you had an opera singer try and do play-by-play? That would be something. Could you imagine that? A baritone trying to do it. 3-2 on the way. Taylor swings and misses. Fastball in the dirt. First out of the inning. Brings up Jordan Ebert. That'd actually be kind of cool. But it probably never happened. Ebert steps to the plate. He's had a huge day. 2 for 4, a grand slam, and an RBI single. 5 runs driven in. First pitch, curveball misses low and away to Jordan Ebert. Counts 1-0. On deck, Jeremy Taylor, who's also had a big day. Bug sets at the letters, slightly to first for Hendricks. Fastball misses low and away. Counts 2-0.
And now just 10 minutes of the 8 o'clock hour here at Lowell Park. There's definitely some concern. Maybe the Red Sox won't hit in the top of the ninth. I mean, that's how ugly it's gotten now outside.
Fastball on a 2-0, fouled straight back. Ebert ahead in the count still, 2-1. He got a good pitch to hit, but fouled it straight back. Bug looks over at first. Hendricks the lead, nobody holding him on. Chopper to Lester at third. He gobbles it up, flips across in time to get Ebert. Moving up to second, Brendan Hendricks. 2 away for Jeremy J.T. Taylor. And T.J. Wharton had been doing a nice job of keeping the back part of his jersey tucked in. Well, it came untucked again. If he's going to be here for the long haul, I'd find him a jersey that fits a little bit better. Because this one doesn't seem to be either that or he just doesn't like tucking the back in unless he's told to. First pitch, curveball to Jeremy Taylor. Taken outside for strike one. Or taken on the outside corner for strike one. 0-1 the count to Jeremy Taylor. I actually couldn't have imagined if we tried to sing this whole inning. 0-1 on the way. Fastball hits the inside corner. Counts 0-2 on Taylor. Taylor, a pair of singles, reached on an error, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. Taylor wears number 11, the number worn by Bradley Zimmer last year, who has since gone on to be a first-round pick of the Cleveland Indians. 0-2, chop foul down third base side. And we'll do the 0-2 again.
You know, Jordan Ebert making his debut today. Interesting note, his dad played baseball at Faulkner State Community College and then went on to play at East Tennessee State, the same school that Jeremy Taylor attends.
0-2 on the way to Taylor. Swing and a miss. Curveball in the dirt. Wharton tags him. That will retire the side. We're through 8. Here at Lowell Park, last chance for the Red Sox. We'll head to the top of the ninth. 13-1, Katuitt.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's
last chance for YD here. Nico Giratano, the shortstop from the University of San Francisco, leads it off. This will be the last half inning, unless YD somehow is able to score 12 runs. First pitch on the way from Travis Duke, taking high and away to Giratano. 1-0 the count on the shortstop from San Francisco. Giratano coming into today's ball game, 11 for 55, and even 200 average. 4 runs driven in. 1-0 on the way from Duke. Skied out to play to the right side. Count even up at 1-1. Duke sets. Clears the 1-1. Chopped up the middle. Logan Taylor has it. Ranges to his left. Fires across. In time to retire Giratano. 1 out. Brings up Ramsey Romano, second baseman from Michigan. 1 for 3, singled in the second, flew out to right in the fourth, and grounded out 3-1 in the seventh. Romano from the University of Michigan. YD filled with 2 guys from the University of Illinois. First pitch strike taken by Romano, 0-1 the count. And 1 man from Michigan, that's Romano. The other 2 from Illinois, Jason Goldstein and Kevin Duchenne. 0-1, breaking ball from Duke, misses outside. Count to 1-1. Tyler Jay, the third Illinois player who was on YD, actually made Team USA. So Jay is off with the U.S. Collegiate National Team. 1-1, hit straight to center field. Glines charges, makes the play. And the Red Sox are down to their last strike, their last out, in the form of Brennan Lund. Lund reached on an error in the second, grounded out to third, and flew out to center. Kettleers Insider postgame show coming up next. We'll try and have a player on. Hopefully, we'll get Jordan Ebert to come on the broadcast. Fastball, taken for a strike. 0-1 the count to Brennan Lund. Lefty-lefty matchup. Hendricks in on the grass at third. 0-1. Hit up the middle. Glines charges. Falls in front of him. Now it gets behind him. The ball will go all the way to the fence. Lund rounds second. He'll head for third. Glines picks it up at the fence. Scott Pickler will hold it up there. A single and an error on Jackson Glines puts Brennan Lund at third. And now it's getting to the point where they may stop the game right here because it's getting very difficult to see. Joey Armstrong steps to the plate. Armstrong got hit by a pitch back in the seventh.
I mean, that's a play Glines just doesn't get in front of the ball as best as he could. But with 2 outs, I think you let this game play out. When it gets a little ridiculous, then I think you make that decision.
Fastball. Misses high and away for a ball to third baseman Armstrong from UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So far this season, he has struggled. 2-0 the count now after the 1-0 misses blown away. He is 1 for 20 in 9 games, an .050 average. Not the way you want to start the year. Righty-lefty matchup, 2-0 on the way. Fastball misses high and away. Count to 3-0. Kettleers in action tomorrow out at Eldridge Park in Orleans. Grayson Jones will make his second start for the Kettleers. 3-0, changeup, taken to the knees for a strike. 3-1 the count. An off day on Tuesday. Then the Kettleers will head back out to Brewster for their last game of the year with the Brewster Whitecaps. 3-1, Strike hits the inside corner. A very odd call considering that it was well inside, but Tom Major calls it a strike. Count goes to full on Armstrong, 3-2. Kettleer fans, the ones who remain, are clapping. Duke sets, payoff on the way, and that ball misses low for ball 4. A walk issued to Joey Armstrong, runners at the corners. 2 outs, 13-1 Kettleers. 13 runs on 15 hits, 2 errors for Cotuit. 1 run on 7 hits, and 4 errors for the YD Red Sox. Brings up Vincent Jackson. First pitch on the way to Jackson. Chopper through the hole, gets past Logan Taylor, a base hit. Coming in to score, Brennan Lund moving up to second. Joey Armstrong. It's now 13-2. Kettleers lead on the RBI from Vincent Jackson.
Jackson's had a nice day despite just 2 runs scored. He's got 3 of YD's 8 hits. And for Travis Duke, this is something that surprises me because a guy that dominated so well in relief for Texas this past year, giving up just 1 run in over 30 innings pitched. I know he started his first appearance here in the CCBL, but he's been getting knocked around, which is a bit surprising.
Duke delivers the 1-0 to Hunter Cole, taking for a strike. Count even at 1-1. Cole singled and drove in the first run back in the first for YD. Swing and a miss. Fastball misses high and away. Count for 1-2. Kettleer fans getting into it now. Armstrong at second, Jackson at first. Duke sets. Delivers the 1-2. Check swing, appeal down to first. No swing, says Joe Peters. 2's across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 13-2. Pitch, Cole hits it high and deep to right field. Wiseman goes back in front of the fence, reaches, makes the catch, and this ball game is over. The Kettleers, behind a 7-run 5th and a 6-run 7th, beat the YD Red Sox 13-2 and have won their 2nd game in a row and fall and improve to a game below 500. Kettleers Insider Postgame Show coming up right after this. You're locked into Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years.
It's time for the Kettleers Insider Postgame Show on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. With a wrap on tonight's game, here's Greg Moraz and Brendan Glasheen.
13-2, Cotuit defeats the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox here at Lowell Park, and Cotuit improves to 13-14-1. YD falls to an even 500 at 14-14. And this game was one that, from the onset, didn't look like Katuitt was going to really have much of a chance to win. They gave up a run in the first inning, a leadoff walk to Andrew Stevenson, and Hunter Cole drove in Stevenson to make it 1-0. Nick Eichholz didn't get out of the fourth inning, but then Ashton Parrott came in. Ashton Parrott was unbelievable. 4 innings of scoreless relief. Pitched perfect, 4th, 5th, 6th. Gave up a couple base runners in the 7th. But at the end of the day, Ashton Parrott was unbelievable out of the bullpen. But then you also have to remember the Kettleers offense in the 5th inning came to play. And that was the difference in the ballgame. 7 runs in the 5th and 6 runs in the 7th. The 6 runs in the 7th put it out of reach completely. Let's recap that 5th inning for you, friends, so that you can have an idea of what exactly happened. The inning was led off by Jackson Glines. Correction. Jeremy Taylor led off the inning. He singled. John Norwood then singled. Jackson Glines then singled. Brent Wiseman then singled. That scored Jeremy Taylor. Jamison Fisher then walked. That scored John Norwood. That made it 2-1. That's where the Kettleers got their lead. But then, Jake Fincher reaches on an error. That scores Jackson Glines. A strikeout of Brendan Hendricks and a fly out to center by Logan Taylor made it 2 outs for Jordan Ebert. He launched it to left. A no-doubter. First pitch. And how awesome it was that Trey Wingenter, yesterday's starter for the Kettleers, called the home run that made it 7-1 Katuitt at that point. And that's really all there needs to be said. 6 runs in the 7th as the Yarmouth Dennis pitching staff completely fell apart. It goes to show that an offense as powerful as this can really get comfortable when the pitching is great. And you have to look at it from this sense. Jordan Ebert, obviously, with a grand slam and an RBI single, is going to be looked at as your player of the game. 2 for 5. A great debut. The SEC's leading hitter. No surprise why. He is the SEC's leading hitter. But Ashton Parrott, my goodness. Ashton Parrott, 4 innings of scoreless relief. That, my friends, is something that cannot be overstated. Parrott was away from the team for several days with his family back in Indiana. Comes back and just tears it up on the pitching mound. He was about as good as you could have imagined here today. Fastball is going from 92 to 94. Parrott struck out 2, only allowed 2 hits. The only base runner he allowed that was not via a hit was on a hit by pitch. So Ashton Parrott, an absolute monster of a game on the mound. He gets the win here today for the Kettleers. Now, you focus on tomorrow. You go out to Eldridge Park in Orleans to face an Orleans Firebirds team that has been pretty darn good this year. Although on a 2-game losing streak, 6-11, 3 points behind the Eastern Division leading Harwich Mariners. So, there is a lot of baseball left to be played for the Katuitt Kettleers, but at the end of the day, an absolute stunning, or I should say stellar, showing from the Kettleers today. And it can't also be overstated that the Kettleers have played the majority of their games against the Western Division at this point. including today, 7 of the next 8 will be played against the Eastern Division. The lone exception, the Falmouth Commodores, who come to town on Thursday. But you travel to Brewster, you travel to Orleans tomorrow, off day Tuesday, where they will travel up to Fenway Park for Cape League Scout Day. Then, Wednesday at Brewster, home against Falmouth, then at YD, at Harwich, and then home against Orleans again. So an Eastern Division, and then after the Monday off day, home against Chatham for the last game they'll face against the Chatham Anglers. So, at the end of the day, you're facing a lot of Eastern Division teams in a very short amount of time. They got this one in just in time, as the rain looks to be approaching. Brendan Glasheen, hopefully, will be up here in a few moments with Jordan Ebert, our star Kettleer. Hopefully, Gabby Lucevero will be able to catch somebody down there, our Cape League field reporter, along with Meredith Perry, the writer for the Cape Cod Times. The lights have been turned on back in our booth. I don't know who is messing with the lights, but that'll be our director of video operations, Axel Bawada, doing a fantastic job as always. We are waiting on Brendan Glasheen with our star Kettleer of the game. We'll take a quick break, and he'll be back on right after this.
Sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleeers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleeers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years.
Welcome back here into the broadcast booth, and we are now joined by our star Kettleeer, Jordan Ebert. And Jordan, I mean, there is starting off with a bang, and then there's doing what you did. A grand slam, an RBI single, 2 runs scored. You were also pretty darn good defensively at second base, except for the 1 ground ball. But, I mean, how big is it for you to, number one, come up here on very short notice, get here, get activated today, and start the way you did?
It was pretty cool, man. I got the call, I guess, Friday, Friday night, and really wanted to get on a plane as quick as I could, and didn't end up getting here till about 1 o'clock last night. So, I got a little sleep and got settled in, and I haven't really been hitting or fielding in a long time, so I really just didn't want to go over with a bunch of strikeouts. So, it felt pretty cool.
Now, I overheard you a moment ago talking with one of the YD players saying that he said, "When did you learn to crush the ball like that?" And you were jokingly saying, "Well, I wasn't allowed to do that at school because oftentimes you'd have to either take a pitch or, I'm assuming, if you're not a masher, you're going to have to just take a safe approach at the plate." But what's it like when you go to the plate not only once but a second time with the bases loaded and no outs? Because the first at bat, you went up to the plate, you popped up.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That's more like what I did at school. Jokingly towards my coach, because he'd understand that. But being in the leadoff role most of the year, I was our on-base guy. Taking a lot of pitches, trying to see a lot. I was more of singles the other way kind of guy. Just kind of accepting that role. So this year I'll probably have a different role. More of an RBI guy. And towards the end of the year, he wanted me to be more of an RBI guy. Here it's a lot of fun being able to just let it go a little bit, and it's a little bit less stressful. Not as many people in the stands, and it's a lot of fun, man.
Now, you look at the way that you went up to the plate today, and it just looked like you were locked in the sense that you could see exactly what Michael Murray and Zach Favre were throwing, and you had a long layoff since you've last played. How long does it take for you to get your hitter's eye back?
Oh, surprisingly, my first at bat, the first pitch I got was a fastball up, and the swing I put on it, I thought I was going to hit that thing over the trees, and I was really frustrated with myself. And he came back with a breaking ball that really didn't break, and got me to swing under it. And I felt like I put a good swing on that. It's just, I was looking for a break, and it never came. And like I say, I thought it was going to look like they were throwing 100 today. And, after my first swing, I had a lot of confidence because I was like, I'm seeing it pretty good. And, so being able to get off the plane and luckily, being able to see the ball pretty good today felt good. The biggest thing was in the field. It's been a while since I've taken ground balls. I played left in Auburn this year. So, once I get a little rhythm and, hopefully get a couple more of those home runs, I think I'll have a lot more confidence.
Now, your teammates with Trey Wingenter at Auburn, you just told me going up the stairs here that you guys have practiced some play-by-play. Well, we had Trey Wingenter on the air, and I told you how he announced your home run. That must have been pretty cool for us. It's the first Grand Slam for the Kettleeers this year, and neither of the actual broadcasters got to announce it. Trey Wingenter did. But maybe tell us what your off-the-field relationship is like with Trey. You guys are roommates. What's that been like, and now to reunite here in the Cape League?
Well, Trey's one of my best friends. I'm really close to my roommates back in Auburn, and we've lived together since the summer that I got there, and then we actually played in the same league last year and lived together then. So, I've been together with Trey 24/7 for the last 3 years almost, and getting to come up here and live with him is just a cool thing. And like you said, we'll play 2K or MLB The Show, and we'll do some broadcasts. We're big Auburn football. Rod Bramlett, he's taught us a lot over there. I don't know if y'all know, but he was the announcer of the year for the Tigers this year, and and I think we can both do the Chris Davis run back on Alabama. Pretty spot on.
Well, Jordan, thank you very much for joining us up in the booth. There are some people that will also want to come talk to you downstairs, so we'll let you get to them real quick. But Jordan Ebert, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you guys.
That's Jordan Ebert, our star Kettleer of the game. Brendan Glasheen rejoins us on the broadcast now. And I was saying this while you were in the intermittent period going down to fetch Mr. Ebert, but, 2 straight games of great overall pitching. And while we're going to talk about Jordan Ebert, the one guy that you cannot understate his performance today, and we'll wrap this up quick. We'll have one more Coca-Cola of Cape Cod scoreboard update. But, Ashton Parrott, 4 innings of scoreless relief. He worked himself out of jams that he worked himself into. But that, along with Nick Eicholtz working himself out of now that's not even important because I mixed up the teams, but Ashton Parrott today, just unbelievably spectacular performance.
Oh, yeah, 4 innings pitched, allowed the 2 hits, walked no one, struck out 2. You have to remember, too, Jordan Ebert comes to the plate with bases loaded, nobody out. And there was an opportunity for the Kettleers to really dig into that deficit when it was 1-0. Imagine the Kettleers don't get that scenario again, and that becomes the difference in the game. And we've mentioned it throughout the broadcast. That doesn't happen a whole lot often, to be a guy that comes to the bat, or comes to the plate with the bat, with bases loaded, nobody outs, twice in the same game. Once you pop out, which is the last thing you want to do because that doesn't do anything productive. At least you hit it on the ground. You force the defense to make a play on it. If you hit it in the outfield, there's some sort of play. And, wow, look at this. Travis Duke and Grayson Jones dancing.
They're photobombing Jordan Ebert. They are swing dancing in the background. That is unbelievable. That may be the greatest photo or video bomb of all time. Oh, and now they're doing the middle school slow dance. How when you had your first partner dance in 6th grade and you have to stay barely away from them at all, and now they're doing the sprinkler. This is incredible. Before we say goodbye, let's preview tomorrow's game. The Orleans Firebirds. And now they're doing the wheelbarrow. This is... For a guy in Grayson Jones who's actually starting tomorrow night's ball game, he's pretty darn loose right now. Now a chest bump. The Orleans Firebirds, the Kettleers will face off against tomorrow. They've been one of the best teams in the Eastern Division the whole year. Only the second time facing Orleans. Firebirds have the best ERA in the entire Cape Cod Baseball League. Brendan, this has been 2 of the best games. We talked about it after that stretch at the end of June where the Kettleers won 2 straight over Hyannis and Harwich, June 27th, June 28th, as 2 of the best games all year. I would say that these are the 2 best games all year, and Kettleers need to keep it going tomorrow against Orleans.
Right. It's all about getting into a rhythm. To see that this offense was able to come through with a big 7-run 5th and then a 6-run 7th inning. Definitely encouraging to see going forward. And then for Ashton Parrott to go as long as Eicholtz did, it doesn't make Eicholtz's start seem as disruptive to this team's rhythm on the pitcher's mound. And then Travis Duke able to come in and work some solid relief. So when you add all that up, it all seems to work out.
Before we say goodnight, a Coca-Cola of Cape Cod scoreboard update from Brendan.
Bourne Braves lead the Brewster Whitecaps 3-2, bottom of the 7th at Doran Park. At McKeon Park, bottom of the 7th, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks lead 7-1 on the Wareham Gatemen. Top of the 5th at Veterans Field in Chatham, the Commodores hold a 5-0 lead on the Anglers. And top of the 7th in Orleans, where we'll be tomorrow. The Harwich Mariners have a 1-0 lead on the Firebirds.
Thank you very much for joining us here on tonight's broadcast. For my broadcast partner, Brendan Glasheen, I'm Greg Mraz. Again, the final. Kettleers win their second in a row. They move within a game of 500, a 13-2 final here over the YD Red Sox. They'll try and keep it rolling tomorrow. We'll be on the air for Kettleers warm-up at 6:40 tomorrow night from Eldridge Park in Orleans. And we'll be back with first pitch at 7 o'clock for the Kettleers and Firebirds. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Have a safe drive home if you're driving somewhere, but if you're not, tune us off and enjoy a nice Sunday night. Thanks, everybody.